Hi, everyone. Mm, mm, mm. It's me, Juss Kyia, Real Talk Daily. Okay, you guys. So today I actually really don't need to check in and see if the sound is working because I already verified that. Aren't you proud of me? I know you are. I'm not like fumbling and begging for someone and trying to find the channel and on YouTube to make sure I got sound. But I got sound, you guys. I know you hear me loud and clear. So I want to show you guys something, and I have a young lady, Miss Red Lipstick Vibes did an amazing favor for me and she gifted me with this. So I kind of did it backwards. I was supposed to put it up first, but better late than never, right? That's the way I think. So I want to share this with you, and I'm so appreciative of it because I didn't ask, she offered, and yeah. So check this out, you guys. Oh. I just love it. I am so blessed. I mean, I haven't had amazing women in my life. I have two that extend out to me without me even asking. That is the most amazing thing to experience. And I'm very, very grateful to them for doing this for me. I'm very appreciative. So, let's get down to it, okay? So I can remember I was on very new, out here in these YouTube streets, as they call it. And so I was on this show. I was on our platform, I guess you would say. I was on Black Men Unfilters YouTube channel, and just up there living my great grand life and everything. And this nice looking chocolate brother, he popped up, and I'm like, okay, nice looking. And he's sitting there kind of like this. hmm just kind of like this, nod every once in a while. It's okay, not saying nothing really. And I could tell he's checking things out. So, okay. So we're talking, we're going on, and he's just patiently sitting there. I'm like, I guess he ain't gonna say nothing. Wasn't that many. So we continue on. Good conversation. We doing good, okay? I'm doing great. Y'all know I was doing great, okay? But anyway, so he's sitting there and then he speaks. And he speaks. And Lord, did he speak. He gave us a word. He really did. This was my first encounter with him, and I was like, okay. And you know me, amen. All right. And it was good. I don't remember exactly what the conversation was about at the time, but when he got done, we was clapping. I don't know if Black band was playing the organ or not, but we was doing some rejoicing. Yes, we was. And then so I was like just I'm just assuming he ain't got no channel. I'm like, you need to start a church. I said, you do it, I'll come. I said, I'll be right there. And I said, it ain't gotta be no building because I don't know where you at. But if you just go online and I'll be there. He's just sitting there nodding, and everything's good. And I'm like, okay, he quiet. But when he talked, he talked. So anyway, so then we go on a little bit more in the show. Either he was about to go or the show was. I was like, yeah, you can follow him over and I said, oh, you got a show? Yes, I'm loud and just a little ghetto. I ain't even ghetto, but I am. So anyway, I say all of that to say this. I was very impressed. I was I don't get impressed easily, but I listen to the words that you're saying and in the context that you use it. And I like what I was hearing. To be honest with you, I thought he was older than what he is. Not that he looks it, but his demeanor and his speech, very eloquent, very maybe methodical. I don't know if that's the right word. Very planned out what he's going to say and what he's saying. And then like I said, nice chocolate looking brother. He in the gym too much if you ask me, but that's just my own personal opinion. I'll be like, can't be looking better than me. I just joking. I'm just joking. I just joke. But he can't. I gotta be them. But anyway, okay, so let me get down to it. I know you guys don't know, and this is like a big surprise. I kept this on the down low because I wanted y'all to be excited once I bring him up. And he probably be like, girl, get to it and get me up there. It's my show. It got to be about me for a little bit. Okay, and y'all see the red? I don't wear lipstick for nobody. I don't even know. I mean, I don't like it, but I like it's a little extra. Because he a handsome brother. He is, and I gotta get the attention back to me. Okay, so let me see. So what I want to say next is over the next, I don't know, maybe a month. I'm not even sure how long. I have been in and out, following, always following, but watching the show, catching the show here and there. And I was like, okay, I thought it was going to be more of like for lack of a better word, preachy or whatever. But no, it's the undertone. And not that I don't even think he really mentions his faith or mention the word and things like that. But the undertone for sure is there, like the standards, the level that he carry himself. Just when you see him, he seems meticulous, and which is a good thing, especially for a man. So as I was following him, it was a recent show that I was watching, and I was listening, and I was like, okay, I heard that. And then I was like, wow, but it was very subtle. And it was little things that he was saying. And I'm not sure if everybody caught it. I don't know. I don't know if everybody's smart as me or as active and listener as I am, but I heard it. And so immediately, I reached out to him and asked, could I do an interview? I don't even think it's been 3 days because I was very impressed with his vulnerability, even though it was settled. And then something happened after that, which we will share together. And I truly know that this young man, he has an amazing story to tell. I don't even know if he's told it before or not, but if he has, it needs to be told again today, and it needs to be told again and again, because it is awesome to see a Black man, keep it real, put it out there raw, and share what he's been through what he's going through. He even shared some things that's, been as recent in the last year or so. I admire that. I don't think that there is no better character than that. And I am very proud. I don't think he know this, but I am very proud to have him a part of my life. I really am. And his wife. His wife is amazing. She has done things for me that I haven't even asked for, but I need it. That's amazing. Okay, you guys, I know y'all tired. Like, hi, okay, get to it. Without further ado, I would like to honorably bring up Sir Hale Speaks. Was
Hey,
that an introduction?
I appreciate it. Thank you. How are you?
I appreciate it. I'm good. How are you?
Excellent.
Looking good as always. I
Thank
told
you.
you guys, looking good as always. Wonderful smile. And I appreciate you for being here.
You look beautiful as well.
Oh, that's what I was waiting for. It took you long enough. No, I'm kidding. So, I want to start it off with this. Me and Sir Hell has not discussed what I'm going to ask him. I didn't even tell him the little things I picked up, and he is allowing me to have this interview. Actually, the way I prefer to conversation. However, with the questions that digging a little bit deeper to get to know him. But he said that I can ask him anything I like. And then I said in return to him, whatever he doesn't feel comfortable with answering, I will totally respect that. I might push a little bit longer, so you never know. No, I'm kidding. But I just wanted to put that out there. And let me see if there's anything else. I think that's all. And I guess one more thing. This is my first interview, guys. Y'all have mercy because the Lord has mercy on me. Okay. So you can at least have mercy on me too. Okay. Be nice. Hi, Sir Hal.
Hey, hey.
Okay. So as you heard what I just expressed to you, do you know the show I'm talking about when you were throwing little not hints, but you were saying things, but it was very subtle. And what you were talking about different parts of your upbringing and your life. Do you know what show I'm talking about?
Yesterday morning show?
Nope. Before that,
I don't remember.
you were with the Intentional Millionaire, and it was Monday, I believe. I believe it was Monday. And anyway, okay, great. So you have no clue what I think that I heard or anything like that, right?
No clue.
Okay, amen. So you're married with 4 beautiful kids and 2 boys, 2 girls. Look just like you. Well, you boys really do. And so I would like to ask you, how long have you been married?
14 years going on 15 years. I got married at 19 years old. I am now 34.
Mm, all right. Who pursued who?
I mean, she pursued me. I mean,
I knew you
she
were going to
saw me.
say that.
She saw me at church. Couldn't resist. No,
Okay.
no,
I
really.
was like, okay.
No, we met at church. Well, it's funny the way that it started. It really wasn't a planned thing. I don't think we set out to. I didn't, and we just end up talking, and then it just progressed and became what it is today.
Really? Was she your first girlfriend or relationship?
Oh no, I was a ladies' man. Oh, ladies' man.
Ooh,
I
right.
always had a lot of
Without a
ladies, right? Now, when I came to Texas, though, she was my first real friend that I actually spent time talking to, like really talking to about stuff. So she's in that context, she's probably the only friend that I've shared my heart with like that.
Okay. So what was it about Crystal Talk Hell that this, and I know you were young, and I want it from that perspective because you said you were 19, and I would love to know from your perspective, what was it about her that you were there and it continued on and you asked her to marry you?
So I suffer from low self-esteem from all of my life. And so I've always had trouble with keeping girls. They would always like me, But because I
Mhm.
suffer from insecurity and low self-esteem, I would never think that they were hanging around for sure. And so when I met her, all of my quirkiness, my nerdiness, because I am a nerd, all of that, it wasn't a turn off for her. And so she
Oh.
listened to me. I could be myself. You know, we spent most of our time in the libraries, and she didn't run away from me for that. And so having somebody to see me and allow me to be me was enough for me to say, you know what, I can do this. And so we developed
Mhm.
the friendship based off of that. So
Real.
it was friendship.
Mhm. So it was friendship. That and I hear that a lot, when I hear people talk about, like, long-lasting marriages.
Mhm.
It started with a friendship, just that simply, and then, I hear the woman, she showed herself approved, technically, she showed herself worthy, technically, she my dog, she got my back, you know? So that's, amazing to hear, even though you were, just 19 and seeing that. So how long after that did you get married or propose, or did she propose to you?
That's it was 3 months, but it took us 2 years to get married, and it was contentious. So I don't want y'all to think this is a beautiful story. This was terrible.
That's what we
So
like.
yeah, so when I proposed, it was after 3 months, and like I said, I rushed because there was a lot of brokenness before we moved to Texas. So we weren't here always. We were in Illinois, and then moved to Gary, Indiana, and then to Texas within a span of about a year and a half. And so, because things were tumultuous, I found Fringe and I latched on quickly. And she was one of the first few people who, again, just heard me and listened to me. We spent a lot of time together, and we started shacking, if you will. And again, this was at around 18, late 18, going on 19. And so just from there, we spent all the time together. We grew together. You couldn't see her without me, right? Well, we was just
Mhm.
always there. When I was working at Starbucks, she would always come up there, bring me plates of food and stuff while I was talking to my guests and stuff. And we spent a lot of time together.
Mhm.
And from there, we developed a trust and a friendship and had
Mhm.
3, 4, 5 hour conversations. So
Okay,
that's how we started. Uh-huh.
so after 3 months you proposed.
Mhm.
Got down on that knee. You were able to get back up because you were so young. She said yes. So it took another, I think you said 2 years, a year or 2 before you got
Mhm.
married. And, so what did that look like, if you don't mind? Like, why did it take so long? And then if you will share just a little bit, I want, maybe young people, that's in our community to hear, like, maybe if you want to share a story or 2 that happened that you guys made it through, of course. And, some of you think that would be inspiring to young new couples.
So the real truth is, and her and I've talked about this before. So during that time, I got her pregnant. I was a youth minister. I was I was doing a lot in the community. I was a speaker. I was a youth intern. I was a musician. I had all kind of opportunities going for me, but I ended up uh, my first time, having sex, and then that time she gets pregnant, and then everything changed. And when that changed, I actually lost the internship. My reputation took a big old hit, and I felt that part of the reason for rushing into the marriage is because I didn't want my wife for me to be the guy that got somebody pregnant and then I just left. And I wanted to do things right because I didn't want to see. I didn't want to be one of those guys who impregnated another woman. There's another woman and kid walking around and daddy's not there. So all of that factored in, and I'm like, I got to make a decision because I don't want the next 20 years to be like what I said I'd never do because I'm the child of adultery. And I know what it's like to not have a father there. And then my father died at 5 years old. And I never wanted to create that scenario. And so that factored into saying, you know what, we got to do this for the sake of our family and then for the larger sake of our community.
That is amazing. I appreciate that. And so nothing more juicier. Okay, we'll wait till later. We'll get to that juicy a little bit later. We'll save it. Okay, so I just heard you mention your father,
Mhm.
and this is a perfect transition. I want to go back into your childhood here.
Okay.
And you mentioned that I think you said he passed away just now. You said he had passed
When I
away
was when I was 5 years old. Yes,
when you were 5 years old. So do you remember anything about him before he
I
passed
do.
away?
I do.
May we hear a little bit of that, please?
Yeah. So three different things. One is He called me the man child. And I remember there
Wow.
was this one time we were in the basement. We were up north, so you guys, if you're down south, you may not know about this, but up north we have basements, and we were down there, and I was 5 years old, never forget it. And he had a little belly, and he laid on top of me and made me fight to get from under there. And as a kid, I was screaming, I was crying, but I didn't stop fighting. And what my dad was doing at that age was teaching me how to have some resolve and how to work up under pressure. And that lesson I've never forgotten. And it is why I am as tenacious in what I do now, because I never forgot that lesson. The other thing was about thinking and being a decent person. I learned that from him. I learned by the way he carried himself, the way that he cared about people, the way that he conducted himself. He was a very personable person. He was a musician. So I'm also a musician. I play the piano, I sing, and then I write songs as well.
Wow.
That's how I used to make money. And so I remember those memories, him taking us to go get Kentucky Fried Chicken. After Sunday, we get in one of those big old vans that you used to be able to put the little table in. And we'll all get back there, go get a couple of drumsticks and eating some chicken legs, on the way home, and just having a really good time. So I've got some really good memories of my dad, and I'm grateful that I have those.
And it was just you and him? Are you an only child?
No. So there was his oldest kid, which is my oldest brother on that side, passed away. My oldest sister on that side passed away. Dad passed away, and now who is left is I have an older sister, and then I have a brother as well.
Wow. Okay. So you have an older brother, an older sister, and your dad all passed away.
Yes.
And is this all by the age of 5?
No. So my oldest brother passed away 2020.
Okay.
My oldest sister passed away, I want to say in 2014. And then my
Okay.
father passed away, I want to say 1992.
Okay. Let's stay there. As a 5-year-old with that memory of the chicken, the music, the wrestling, and everything, do you connect or understand how you felt then once you found out? And if you don't mind, like, what was that moment like where whoever revealed it to you, what happened? How did you feel, if you can remember, and share that?
Beacon Hill School in the second grade. We were at school. Miss Barlow let us know that I had to leave. Somebody drove us home because we stayed right around the corner. And my mother was crying right outside the door. She had a ponytail, black shirt, short blue jean, shorts, and some tennis shoes on with the hair in a ponytail to the side, a darker brown color. And she had her hand like this, covering her nose. And then she was crying. And she let us know that our father had passed away. And in that moment, I didn't have time to cry. I actually never cried that my dad passed
Mhm.
away, because I felt like at 5 years old, I had to toughen up and be a man now and protect mama and be there for the family.
Mm.
And so what's funny is no one has ever asked me this question. No one has ever
Really?
asked me this. No one has ever asked me this.
Wow.
And so it's actually bringing back some emotions about how I felt.
Mhm.
But I felt lost. I felt like my daddy is gone. I didn't get a chance to say goodbye. And here's the kicker: because I was a child of adultery, even at the funeral, we didn't get recognized.
And you remember all of this at 5?
I remember everything.
Wow.
Mhm.
Wow. I can't even begin to imagine. So you said you didn't even cry.
I didn't
Do
cry.
you know why? And you remember that specifically, that you did not cry. Do you know why you didn't cry?
I always thought that there was some way that I would see him again. So even though he was fired, even though I saw him
Mm.
laying there, I didn't reconcile that that would be the final moment, that, and I would
Mhm.
never see him again. Now, the funny thing is, there were still days now that I cry. There's not been a single day after 29 years in almost 3 months that I have not thought about him. I think about him every single day. And when I
Mm.
look in the mirror, I wonder if I'm making him proud, because in the absence of a father, you don't know if am I really being the man that I'm supposed to be? Am I walking correctly? Am I as eloquent as I should be? Am I powerful enough? Am I conducting myself correctly? And I live my life in such a way that if he was here, I would just want to hear these few words: son, I'm proud of you. So I live my life as if he were here and he would say that, because that is something that I'll never hear from him.
Wow. That's amazing. That's amazing. Your mom, I met Aunt, don't tell me, I met Aunt Desiree, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay. Amazing. Funny. I think me and her would be a hoot together. And I haven't heard about your mom. I don't think, I can't remember. Can you share a little bit about your mom at that same kind of particular point of your life of growing up as a 5-year-old?
Yeah, so things changed dramatically. As a kid, you don't understand the dynamics of how people play a role, even in the mood and the stress level of your parents. You don't get that. But when my father passed away, it took a toll on my mom as well. I saw her a lot of times dealing with a deep sadness and a deep level of grief, because now she has to take care of a lot of kids. And with her, she took care of a lot of kids before this. She was responsible because her mom had a lot of kids starting at the age of 14. She was the
Mhm.
oldest, and her mom was 14 years older than her. So she had a lot to deal with. And when my father died, I remember seeing this deep sadness in her eyes. I'll never forget it. She's in there. At this time, there was a brown bathroom door. The walls were painted green, and there was like white there. And there's this little mirror next to the door, and she was putting on some mascara. And I remember her putting that on and seeing the sadness in her eyes as she's trying to make herself up and not look as
Mm.
sad as she was. It broke my heart. And because I saw her crying, I didn't also want to cry to put more pressure on her grief. So I internalized it and tried to be strong so that my mom could have some strength as well.
Mhm.
And
That's
I've been
amazing.
this
Like,
way since I
mhm.
was 5.
That's what I'm saying. That's amazing. Like at 5 years old, you have all this consciousness, awareness of your surroundings, of people, your parents, emotions, what they're going through. That is, it is really mind blowing to me because I pride myself on um, being in touch and being mindful and you know observing, but at 5, I don't think I have one memory from when I was 5. And for you to articulate that and have, I want to say, these special moments, because even though your father passed away, you still have these special moments with him, with the wrestling and, calling you the man. You say the man,
The,
right?
the man
So
child.
the man child. There you go. Yeah, the man child. That right there. It seemed like that fed into your spirit. That's fed into who you are today. Because I can see you maybe in that mirror. I'm the man child, type of thing. Maybe to pump
Mhm.
yourself up in those moments. Okay, so let's move a little bit down in your childhood. Let's say what elementary, junior high, and I would kind of want to stop like right there at junior high. Any moments or despair, obstacles, because I know us as children. I'm older than you. I'm 53, and you're like
4.
36. Four. And so I can speak for me when I was growing up, it was some teasing, my freckles. Oh, you got the cooties. Don't touch Kaya, things like that. But nothing to any point that, I was like, whatever, that's the best. But it could be different that I have found out for a lot of us. And I can honestly say, with my kids being in school, I did not realize how mean kids could be. I did not realize that just because no reason they're messing with people. I questioned that something had to start at home, but neither here nor there at this point. So I say all that to say this: how was that upbringing for you?
Now this part gets hard for me. This is why on my show the other day, I
Mhm.
this is something that I hadn't really processed, and it got
Oh,
me. So what happened is at 5 years old, I started wetting the bed. Um,
okay.
I started wetting the bed, and it's uncontrollable. So there were times where where I come from is I was called pee boy or pissy boy, because I peed on
Oh.
myself, and I thought that there was something literally wrong with me. And I remember, wetting the bed, and then, there being complaints, and then the smell, and then having to sleep on the floor, and then having to sleep in the tub. And what that did to me as a kid is
Mhm.
made me feel like I was so useless and so damaged and so unwanted because I didn't have I had the consciousness, I didn't have the experience to be able to separate that I'm having a normal biological issue because that's in my DNA. I didn't have the
Mm.
psychological awareness to be able to decipher that. So I internalized, go sleep in the tub, sleep on the floor is I'm not worthy of being understood and loved. And this is why I became so introspective, is because I spent all those years as a kid questioning, why am I feeling this way and why am I being treated this way? Right.
Mhm,
So
mhm.
speed up. That happens. No father here. And then now I'm told that I'm an ugly child. I was told I was ugly. Compound
Mhm.
that, I had pimples. Compound that, they called me Blackie. So my name was you Blackie, you Blackie, you so black, you're black. And so I grew up with and then let's take this deeper. I was taken out of school in the third grade. So I've never been to fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10th,
Oh,
11th, 12th grade. I've never been through any of
oh,
that before. So now I'm called stupid. So now I'm stupid. I'm a dropout. I'm black. I'm done. I'm pimple faced. It right. You see all
mm,
these things
yeah.
that you have to deal with. And I grew up with a deep level of insecurity. Didn't think that I was lovable. I didn't think black women liked me at all. It was a really rough time. And so the thing that kept me is thinking that I'm a man child and that I can handle this. And
Amen.
that's why I kept those memories back in my head, because this would pull me through. When they called me gay, they said, "Oh, he gay because he's too nice and he's too sweet." And having
Mm,
to wrestle, if is something wrong with me? Am I gay? Is something like, what's going on? Like all these
mm,
questions, and nobody to really talk to about this. And this is why I became so introspective. And when you hear me talking today, I'm able to relate because I've got a head start on so many people. I've had to do this work so that I wouldn't terminate myself, so that I wouldn't say, you know what,
mm.
life is not worth living. Dad, I wish you were here. Dad, I wish you were here. Dad, I wish you were here. Come rescue me, Dad. Because he wasn't coming, I had to find some way to keep on living, even when it was painful to do so.
Wow. Wow. I just want to say I'm proud of you. I don't even know the rest of the story, but that's amazing. So in third grade, so 8 years old, you were
I'm 7.
taken out, 7, you were
Mhm.
taken out of school.
Mhm.
Why?
You know what? It's funny. I don't have a good answer for that yet. I don't have a good answer for that yet. I've asked, and I've got some answers,
Mhm.
but I don't have a solid answer as to why yet. I really don't know.
Wow, okay. So, because really what I'm thinking there, child protective, you can get in trouble for not, and you're younger than me, so I would think they're on that, but we'll leave that there.
Well, so it started off, we were going to be homeschooled. So that was the goal. So my mom
Okay.
did the best she could do with getting books and stuff like that. But over time, it wasn't consistent. It wasn't like every year we were doing stuff. We would do stuff now. Like we would have to sit down and write whole newspapers, like write the whole thing out. So if you hear my vocabulary, it's because we always had books in there. I always read. I always took a notepad and pen, wrote down words I didn't know, studied the definition, implemented it into my vocabulary. Right? Been doing that since I was 7 years old. Times
Uh-huh.
tables, we knew that. But as we got sixth, seventh, eighth grade, well, there wasn't anything. We didn't get much education there. And
Yeah.
I remember when we were 12 or 13, we had to take courses as if we were in the fifth grade. And so it created a complex because the friends our age were in seventh and eighth grade. And we were still going
Mhm.
over fractions and decimals as if we were in the third and fourth grade at that time. And so it created a complex that maybe I'm stupid. So now just
That's
remember, we got all
fair.
this other stuff we haven't dealt with before.
Right.
Wet the bed, black bumps, unattractive, you're ugly. You know what I mean? And then now you really are stupid.
Mm.
This is what we dealt with.
Wow. Yeah, yeah. So, okay, so I think I misunderstood you a little bit then. So you still had some form of education, but you weren't in the so-called school system
Mhm.
of it. You were homeschool. Oh, okay. I kind of misread that when you were saying I don't, really don't know. So, okay, amen. Thank you for proceed on in my train of thinking. So, with that being said, then even you still have to meet a certain standard, even if you're homeschooled, because like my son is homeschooled and they on my, so
So
no.
you may have got tests and stuff to pretty much you get the work and they just do it at home. Is that about
Yeah,
right? That's
yeah,
not what we
get
got.
everything.
That's
Okay.
not really what we got. We got
Wow.
books. So you guys remember Hooked on Phonics?
Yes. Yeah.
So we
I
did we
think
did
so.
Hooked on Phonics. There was
Yeah.
this math guy we did. So we learned how to do like box math, box multiplication and long division and stuff the short way.
Mhm.
But again, after that seventh, eighth grade, there was nothing there. So what I did is because somebody said, "Hey, you stupid," because we were joking. And it now listen, when you're insecure about how you feel and somebody says something, you're like, "Oh, you see it too." So what I started to do at that age, Mama, can I go to the library? And I started spending all of my time at the libraries,
Oh.
right?
And what
All of my
age is
time.
that?
I had
Like
to be about
14?
12, 13. Absolutely.
Wow, okay, okay. And you made that decision on your own, like, because he
Absolutely.
called me stupid. It's like, okay, I'm not gonna be what y'all call, I'm gonna better myself. And that's that
Absolutely.
man child, that man child
Absolutely.
speaking up, and that man child looking out for himself. That man child is raising, for the most part, himself and feeding himself. And so let's go up a little bit further then. High school. So you didn't go to traditional high school. You're still being homeschool or self-taught, it sounds like, maybe
We're
going to
still
the
we're still
library.
yeah, we're still at home, and
Yeah.
we're reading books. We're getting some things here and there, but it's not consistent. And so we started
Mhm.
taking GD classes, and we did that for about a few weeks, and then we ended up moving. And then when we moved to Texas, I was
Oh,
18.
okay.
And I remember taking a few night courses to get it because I'm like, no,
Mhm.
I refuse to allow myself to be something less than I am. I refuse to do that. And I was
Mhm.
adamant about it. And because I hadn't gone to school, a lot of people thought I was going to fail the GED. And I'm like, y'all don't know who the hell I am. And so I
Man.
studied my butt off
Mm.
and I took it, passed it. Easy work.
Right. And you did it, you did that at 18.
I think I want to say yes, 18 or 19. I forget which one it was, but yes,
So technically you were on time. It was just a challenge getting there and not
exactly.
having the formal school teaching. That's amazing because most kid and for sure me, I don't think I would have, I can only imagine going through that and doing that all on your own and still taking the GED and passing, and technically you're on time. Okay.
Mhm.
So your dad really fed a word into you, a quote or an affirmation. I truly believe him doing that. I don't know how many times you wrestled, but doing that and placing that into you, man, you're a man child. That statement carried you all the way through.
So what happened as a kid is he was heavy. I'm 5, so he's heavy. And what that made me do is I felt like I could do anything. I don't
Wow.
care what the weight is. If I can get from under my dad, I can freaking do anything. I don't care how long it takes me. I don't care how ugly I've got to look. I will not allow myself to be crushed by anything.
Mm.
And whatever he did at that age is what I've carried all of my life. And so if you know me, you'll see me quiet, but you know a quiet strength when you see it. I don't
Mm.
have to be aggressive. You know
Mm.
strength when you see it. And that comes from the lesson I learned from my father.
That's what I was talking about at the beginning. Well, before you came out, I was like, he was sitting. I said, he quiet, but he was just like this. And you can tell he's taking it in. I was impressed immediately. And that kind of goes back to what men, we get to hear you guys' conversations and how you feel and express things and how you internalize things. And, we hear a lot like a man, an alpha man, will assert, you will see it, it'll be there. I truly felt that presence from you. I felt like immediately before you spoke, and then when you spoke, it wasn't even as long or as elaborate. It was to the point. It was powerful. So yes, absolutely, I do agree with that. The quiet ones, and well, I don't know what that said about me, but I'll be good. Okay, so at this point, I want to ask you how was your mother's relationship right there up until we're at the GED part, and you expressed after your father passed away some emotions and things that you had saw there. So, given what you just shared with us, how is your relationship with your mom?
How was it or is it?
How was it? I'm sorry. How was it up into like getting up to that GED stage, like 18 and, back to when your father passed away?
It was contentious.
Wow. Okay.
It was contentious. So we spent a lot of our time in church. And again, I give credit to my mom because she dealt with so much that no person should have to deal with. With the way that she lived her life, the things that happened to her, her not having the support she needed, not having the love she needed, and then trying to raise unbroken children with broken pieces. There was a lot of contention there because in that we didn't really know how to talk. And now listen, so me being the man child, that came with another side. So that would rise up sometimes when I would talk with my mom. That like when I say something like, "Mom, this is bothering me," and that's something that always brought about contention. And my mom would regularly say, "You're not my daddy," and I'm like, "I'm not trying to be your daddy. I can control my voices deep. I'm not trying to do this." And
Right.
so it was contentious. And then when we moved from Texas, remember, so we left Indiana because at a place we were serving in ministry, the pastor there was tried to introduce us to some sexual things that no child should be exposed to. And so the reason we left Indiana in the first place was because of that. So we left to Texas, didn't have much money, stayed in town suites for months, didn't have a lot of money coming in. Ended up getting a place because we ended up staying in the gymnasium of a church because this was during Hurricane Katrina, right, in Texas. So we stayed in the gymnasium of a church for a little bit. They helped us, my mom, to get a place, and then we couldn't afford it. And around the time I got the GED was around the time I ended up getting kicked out the house. Things were
Wow.
contentious. Yeah.
Very much so. Can we back up a little bit to with the church experience and trying to introduce inappropriate sexual behavior? Was that towards you?
Mm-hmm. So it was
Did,
me, my brother, and then it was some others. And there was a record of stuff that happened long. It had happened to the pastor as well. So it was a very
oh,
deep-seated thing. Yep.
wow. So the abuser was was abused.
Mm-hmm.
Is that what you? Okay, I see what you're saying. Thank you for sharing that with us.
So I'll
And
tell you
I
what
read
happened.
you went to your mom. No,
Yeah,
elaborate. I didn't want to ask. I didn't want to push. And thank you for offering because I really would love for you to share that.
yeah. So he would do things like this. So now listen, let me be honest with y'all. I used to go around because I used to be a ladies' man. I just like girls. Lord have mercy. I was just a ladies' man. And then once I started playing that piano with that, they used to love me. So, and I remember I didn't get attention. So I didn't get a lot of love, like a lot of affection growing up. And so I always felt like women, like I was unlovable from women. So I always struggled. I liked their presence, but couldn't connect because just being hugged, just getting a kiss on the cheek, I never got none of that. And so
Mm,
when I would get that as a teenager, I just soaked it all up. And so he had a daughter that I just really cared about.
mm.
She was very kind. She thought I was all that. And I liked that feeling. And so I would go around because of that. There was one situation where he said something to me that rubbed me the wrong way. He said something and I was confused. Remember, I was a virgin. I hadn't gotten none yet. Um,
Mhm.
and he said, "You know what? I wish I could take care of you, so you don't have to figure it out in the streets." I don't know what he was saying. I know what he's talking about. And that was
Okay.
one time. The second time he took me rode past a hole in the wall. I had no clue what that was. I'm like, "What is a hole in the wall?" And that's when I was
Mhm.
introduced to what happens there. And then while we were driving out, I'll never forget it. While we were driving away out of the parking lot, he touches my left thigh. And he asked me this question. He says, "Does this turn you on?" And I was petrified. I was
Mm,
petrified.
mm,
When I hear people who are abuse victims, the reason why I can empathize with people is because I know what it's like for something to happen and you are petrified because your whole identity becomes shattered because somebody you trust takes a step too far and makes you feel powerless. And you're conflicted because you don't know what you're supposed to feel. You don't know what's supposed to happen. You don't know what you're thinking right now.
mhm.
And of course, that didn't turn me on.
Right.
But because he was somebody that I trusted who went that far, it just messed me up. And then now let's go back to me being called gay as a kid. You
Mhm,
see how
mhm.
you see how an
Yeah.
event there triggers that back, and now I'm
Mhm.
asking myself again: Am I gay? Oh, so is this why I don't get girls? Oh, so
Mm.
maybe I am ugly. It just brings up that ugliness again, and so we dealt with all of that. And once my mother found out, because we told our older brother, because it happened in a deeper way with my brother, she really got upset. She was going to protect her kids like any good mom would do. And so in order to not do that and we lose her, we moved to Texas.
Mm. Wow. Amazing. So in that with that experience, that was the extent of that. Your mom got you out of there and you guys moved to Texas.
Mhm.
And then the next thing, Hurricane Katrina.
Yep.
Uh,
So
and
we
your
moved there
living
right in time.
situation already, right in
Yeah. So
time.
we got there right in time where the churches were open. Now we didn't experience Katrina, but this was the
Oh, okay.
aftermath where people, everything had, got destroyed. People were migrating to Texas to find shelter for a little bit. Remember that the dome?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
so they were there.
Right.
And so as people were finally, things were being reconstructed, they were going back to their own homes, finding places to live. There was a spot for us to stay at the church. And so we stayed in this big old it was actually in the basketball court. That's where the bed was. So we stayed there in the gym for a bit until we were able to the church helped us to get an actual house for rent, not far away, about 2 miles away from the church.
And at this point, it's you, your brother, and your sister?
Correct.
Oh, okay, okay. And all them are by your dad. You all got the same dad.
Correct.
Oh, okay. So I see what you're saying in the adulterous okay. The whole
Mhm.
okay, got it. So we done took the GED, right? We in Texas, we done took the GED, and I think somebody's about to enter. How did you? Okay, so how did you told me already? Now I'm trying to put the picture together. You and Crystal met at church. Okay, that's right, that's right.
Mhm.
So you find a new church home, or I'm
Mhm.
assuming. And then, so what is your experience there? Because what I'm thinking is from your previous experience, it would be hesitation, I would think, and a little bit of distrust. And like, did you feel any of that? And was your mom the leader in that spiritual journey for you as far as going back to church? Okay.
Absolutely. So we didn't have an issue going to church itself. Uh, like I said, she was a pastor for a bit, right?
Okay.
And this is how I became a minister. I started teaching Bible study at 12 years
Oh,
old. You know what I mean? And grew up into a
okay.
minister, right? So we come from a church spiritual background. So that
Gotcha.
wasn't an issue. But when we went there, yeah, there's a suspicion because now you see things and
Right.
you can never unsee that. There's always going to be that sneaky suspicion. Are you for real? Or are you got some
Hmm.
secrets you hide? I want to know.
Right.
Um,
Right.
so there was that for a while. And the thing is, we never ever got therapy for it.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Never
Yeah.
really talked to anybody about it. Never really brought it up. We just had to pray on, pray
How about
on.
now? You,
Yeah,
amen.
yeah.
Amen. But oh, so yes, to you have gotten therapy now
You know
by
what's
now.
funny?
Hmm.
You are the first person I've talked to in depth about this. The first person in my life that I've ever really the questions that you've asked me.
Hmm.
Um, I've never talked about it from this perspective. It's always bits and pieces because
Yeah.
when you got an ugly story, you're like, I don't know how much you can take. I don't know how much of this you can handle. I don't know how
Yeah.
much you can. So I would give bits and pieces. So I think I may have shared as much with you from a reflective point of view than I have with
Yeah.
anybody.
Wow, I feel honored. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. You know what? The way I view things and the way to get understanding, you need to know the totality. How am I going to understand you? I think it would do your story a disjustice if it's not told in completion, and my thing is, I know for a fact how many men, particularly, just from you sharing this, there's, I don't know, I just, everyone that hears it be like, dang, I'm not the only one. Like, wow, look at this strong brother up here. he can do it, by God. Shoot, I'm telling myself, I'm a man child. I'm an adult, but I'm bringing that man child out of me. You know what I mean? That I think is an amazing. I think that is ultimately what we're created for. We're
Absolutely.
created to feed into each other, to serve each other by our experiences, what we've been through. If you keep your story to yourself, you're being very selfish and not helping. And that's why I'm so transparent. And I know, I will say this, you guys. I know everyone is not going to be as transparent as I am. And they'll be like, girl, you need to shut up, but that's just my journey, my walk. And I'm not saying everybody go tell everything and, but your comfort level, with your comfort to doing. And yeah, but let's get back to you. Enough about Kyia. Okay, so we're back
Thank you
up
for being
now.
truthful, though. Like, the reason
Yeah,
I feel like I can be truthful is because that's what you are. So
yeah,
thank
thank
you.
you. Yes, always. Thank you. Okay, so we're back at the coffee shop. Don't let me miss anything now because I'm trying to. So we back. You know where I'm at, the coffee shop. We already proposed. We living. We was or is living in a little sin there, and we got a bump baby coming. Okay, so I'm trying to think. So you're still in Texas. So your wife is from Texas, then?
Correct.
Okay, amen. I don't want to. I've been doing good, but now I got to take a sneak look at my card, if you don't mind. Oh, okay, yes. So, only reason because we haven't talked before, and
Okay.
I wanted, so I wanted to ask you about something. This is going back to the interview, or not the interview, your show with the intentional millionaire and things I was hearing. So
Okay.
I heard that, and I'm not sure what age that you used to
Mhm.
stutter, and at what age? And was it something that developed? Because normally a kid that stutters is from origin of speech. If there is a mental or it's already there. But some kids can develop stuttering from like a trauma, an impact, or something like that. So when did the stuttering come about, and why, if you know?
Because I deal with trauma, I would stutter. Whenever I would panic or I had fear, you would hear it come out. So either I spoke too fast, or or I tripped over my words. So it just depends, because
Wow.
it was fear. I wanted to make sure I came off just right, because I couldn't take the pressure of there being yet another thing to tell me I'm not
Mhm.
good enough, I'm not worthy enough, I'm dumb, or I'm stupid.
Wow.
So I would try to be perfect in speech so that nothing else would be said, because I can't take any more psychological or emotional jabs. I'm a kid trying to be strong. So that's where that would come from. And then at 15 years old, I nearly drowned. So went to a pool, went to go play for a revival in Arkansas, Blythefield, Arkansas. And we
Mhm.
went to the pool. My cousin pushed me into the deep end of the pool, 10 feet. I don't know how to swim. Went straight down under the water for around I think it was like 4 minutes and 30 seconds or 5 minutes. Came back
Wow.
up in the hospital on oxygen for a while. The doctor told me there's a 3 out of 4 chance that I will probably stutter. And there were times that I did for a while. I
Mhm,
did for a
mhm.
while. And so I didn't
So
want to talk because of that.
so it was a trauma upon a trauma that was like it produced the stuttering,
Absolutely.
right? Yeah. So how long did that process take? Because of course you don't stutter now. So how long and what did that
I can
process
tell you
look
why.
like?
I can
Amen.
tell
I'm
you why.
ready. I'm ready.
I would spend 2 and 3 hours practicing what I'm going to say in the mirror.
2 or 3 hours practicing with you. You are
I
so
will
intentional.
I would look at my facial expressions, and I know if I look like this, then you know that I'm serious. But if I put a smile on it, then you know that I'm being a little bit lighter. If I'm being intentional in intent, I'll give a little serious look, little hand in the face, right?
Wow.
Lighten it up a little bit. I practice, and I practice so much, so that, again, I didn't want any more criticism because I couldn't take it. So the perfection or the eloquence you hear is really rooted out of a sense of fear. And this is why
Amen.
you hear me talk about we take what was negative and we find a way to refine it,
Mhm.
repurpose it, repackage it, and use it for our advantage. I had to be excellent because I was already ugly. The girls
Mm,
didn't like me,
mm,
right? Light skinned girls definitely didn't like me, right?
mm.
You know what I mean? I didn't know my aunties and them they weren't reassuring. So I didn't get that. And this is what I'm thinking in my
Mm.
head,
Got
right?
you.
And so this is the one thing that I can do and be proficient at. So let me spend hours in the mirror. Let me talk about how I'm going to say good morning. Good morning. How are you today? No, not how are you today. Say how today. How are you today? That sounds better. Okay. Good morning. How are you today? No, smile a little bit so that it comes off at finish. Good morning. How are you today? Now that sounds a little bit too. So I would practice and I would practice and practice so that whenever I
Oh.
enter into a room, there's a
Mhm.
level of poise and a level of a level of meticulousness that I speak with because I didn't want to stutter and I wanted to distract you from the ugliness I felt about myself. And guess how I could
Mm.
do that? I can do this by speaking in such a proficient manner that you see my intelligence and not the real me.
Wow. Okay, you just spoke a word as you said on your okay, can't wait a minute, woman. You didn't spoke a word. My question right here is because you're 15, okay, trauma born trauma. Now we're stuttering. Technically, that's another trauma, really, the way I
It
do it.
is.
So, how did you know intentionally you doing that would make it better? Was this the results of going to the library all that
It
time?
was.
Wow. So, okay. So, how did you get to whatever book or whatever experience that led you to, if I practice, I do this and it's going to help? I guess is what how did you know that was going to help?
I didn't. I just know I couldn't sit
Mm.
on my ass and do nothing. So I had to
Amen.
try something. So like just
Right.
like I would do with the piano, I would sit at the piano and I would literally, I'm not kidding, I would practice for about 8 hours a day to become proficient at
Mm.
something. So as a musician, I was way skilled beyond my level. And with that, I don't even know how to read music, but I could hear it and I can play anything. So I applied that same thing. And if you see me using my hands, a lot of times you'll see me moving my fingers because I associate the practice with the notes with the
Oh,
rhythm of my words,
all
right?
right.
You
All
learn speech
right.
skills. And I did that because however I could learn to be on point and speak rhythmically so that I'm not boring or monotonous, I would use my hands to help facilitate that conversation. I didn't know if it would work. I just knew I had to do something.
Wow. Okay. Wait. You know, there's like my mind. It's like going. I don't know if I want to go here or here, but I'm gonna go here because I think it's more natural for me. And then I don't want to forget. Okay, so on your show, you corrected me when I said, "Can I tell who my friend is?" You're like, "Wait, hold up, commercial break." Okay, it's a commercial break, you guys. Okay, so for one, you sound like if you're not already, and I don't know, like a motivational speaker because you have this phenomenal story. Like even the way from right the beginning, the 5-year old and going on and everything amazing story. So I don't know if you are not a motivational speaker, but I think that would be great if that's where the Lord is leading you. But I want to bring up your book because I just found out you got a book. I had no clue. So I'm curious if you don't mind, we're going to take a little break, but we're going to get right back there. I
Okay.
would like to hear what is your book about? And if I'm what is your book? What is do you have your book there?
Oh, I'll keep a copy.
Amen. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. Okay, so what is the name? Oh, no. Put it back up. You froze a little bit. Put it back up. Okay. What is the name of your book? And if you don't mind sharing a little bit about what it's about. Thank
Yeah,
you.
so the name of the book is called Do I Stay or Do I Go? Relationships. So
Oh,
um,
okay.
So again, this was birthed out of all of my life. Since I was 7 years old, I've been talking about relationships. People would always listen to me about this. And me and my wife went through a critical time where we were going to divorce because we went through a tumultuous relationship. I didn't feel loved. I don't think I've ever really been happy with anybody because I've never
Mm.
learned how to be happy with myself because I never thought my happiness was important. And we're at a point where I'm like, how can I translate what I'm feeling? Because I felt so low and I don't want people to ever feel the way that I felt. So how can I take my knowledge and convert it into a way where other people can benefit from it. So I wrote this book. It took me about 3 months to write it. Now, listen, it's not the greatest literary piece of art, but
Amen.
there was some there was some deep truths in there that came from the introspection that I've had for all of these years, mixed with some of the research that I've done. Um, that's where that comes from.
You know,
And because I
when
talk
we,
about it so much, it was very easy to write. I just literally sat down there. I wrote out 12 different chapters, and I wrote from the titles that I had, and just wrote the book that way.
okay, from you saying that now to me, that makes sense because when I hear like they say, "Oh, this is an amazing book. It's a must read." The literacy and what it's saying and the metaphors and all this, you know, for I don't get it that way, so someone else is telling me why it's so amazing, what they got out of it, so that's me adapting to what they see out of it and get out of it, so it's not relatable to me. From you just saying that, you wrote from your experience. We're not worried about the commas in this. You get the story, and that's the main part. It's relatability. I think that is more profound, more beneficial, especially to get across to what I would assume that your audience is. So I applaud you for that because I started writing a book and my grammar is terrible and I can't spell. So I was like, you know what that word is. Fit it in the context of, you're joking a little bit. But no, I totally get that. So I for sure, I can't wait to read it because it sounds like a good, and when I say easy read, I don't mean that in an insulting way. I mean that in a way that I'm going to enjoy it. I'm not going to have to struggle with what is he trying to tell me type of thing. And I truly believe that it will have a message for me and anyone and everyone that go out and get his book. I don't know if Talk Hale, oh, she is there. If Talk Hale would put up, because I know it's like linked to Amazon. And if you would share that, that'd be great as well, where they can get the book and all that good stuff.
So we actually have two versions. So I did just recently start my motivational speaking. So
Amen.
if you go to egheld.org, you guys can book me from there for coaching sessions. My book is there. My podcast is there. Got some merch there.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So it's all on that website.
Okay, can you say it one more time? Because we got Vaughn here, and Vaughn is an amazing moderator, and I'm sure that if he can put that up for us, it'll be great. I would love that. And so, is that like your own website or your own? I don't
Mhm.
know. Is it
On
called a
website. Yeah,
website? Okay, your own
it is.
website. Okay. So Vaughn has that, or can we say it one more time, please?
Yep. I just put in the chat, so it should pop up in just a few seconds. I
Oh,
think it should.
amen. Okay, and then what about the Amazon where we? Oh, you can get everything from there. You can
Correct.
get
So that's the
everything.
physical copy.
Yes, yes.
Amazon, you just go to Amazon.com, type in relationships. I mean, do I stay or do I go relationships? And my
Mhm,
name should pop up. You see me with you'll see me. I'm a
mhm.
black dude.
Woo,
You'll
yep.
see me. You'll see me.
You're a fine black brother. We're gonna be like, yeah, and see, wait, look. So they was teasing you. You ought to be like, look at me now. Still
And I
black, but
yep. I've learned to embrace my skin. I used to hate it.
Mhm.
I'll tell you a story that I haven't shared with many people. There was
Amen.
a
Thank
time
you.
where
Exclusive.
I got so I don't know if anybody in the chat has ever dealt with this, but I felt so ugly one day. I actually got a towel and tried to just keep rubbing and rubbing and rubbing and rubbing and rubbing. And I rubbed till I
Wow.
got scabs under my chin and on my forehead. That's how ugly I felt. So it's important that our our families, that we see these behaviors in our kids, and we
Mm,
speak to that early. And we widen the conversation to realize that it's not just our young sisters and girls who deal with insecurity, but it can be our young boys as well. And we've got to do a better job of seeing that and speaking life into our kids, because it really does matter. Self-esteem matters.
it does. 100%. It matters. And thank you for that exclusive. You heard it here first. We got to make sure that we're in touch with ourselves, loving ourselves, and accept ourselves first. And I know things are going to happen. They really are. But if you do the work on yourself first as best as you can and keep cultivating that, it'll get there for you. I pray it will.
Absolutely.
But you have to be intentional, as Sir Hell has said multiple times. And I pride myself on my life. Like I also got put out at 18, and how I went through life and learned from life experiences. But for it's amazing. Like your story is totally different, but I truly believe we both got the same lessons because it's the
Hmm.
same thing. You got to feed into yourself. You got to live intentional. And now you got to share, feed into others, be a servant. And amen. I love that. So I'm not sure. Okay, so I want to go into the marriage. No, I don't. I want to. So you had also mentioned in that same interview, you had mentioned something about self elimination. I'm
Hmm.
not sure at what point that was, but because when we tackle into your marriage, I want to go a different way with that. So I know it kind of seems out of spot here, but I for sure didn't want to miss the opportunity for you to share that experience, if you don't mind. And how did we get there?
Yeah, so I'll never forget it. I was getting ready to preach a youth service, about to tear it
Damn.
up in the church. I had my scripture coming from Job. I was ready to go. But even at this church, we dealt with the youth things. I was good for my gift. The youth wanted to hang around me because I was gifted, not personally. And I remember feeling ugly, fell into pornography very deep. You know what I mean? At 16 years old, I found out, how to do certain things, and I thought it was a glorious moment. I didn't realize though that once you slip and fall into pornography, the psychological damage it wraps around your head, because what it does when you have pain, this now becomes a different type of drug to give you a momentary high. And this is the
Wow.
danger of pornography, is that it comes in and it provides a temporary anesthesia for an internal
Hmm.
emotional pain you have. And just like any opiate, you can develop an addiction whenever you have your low, you can go to go get a high. And so it
Wow.
became a major problem for me.
Okay.
And I remember dealing with that. And then I know in church, if you do that, you're going straight to hell. Now, listen, I already feel ugly. I already feel black. I already got a negative self concept. I
Right.
already got the stuff wrong with me. Now I'm going to hell. Oh, hell no.
Hell
So I got
no.
all of, right.
I'm
So I get all of this.
already
Right. So I've got all this wrong. And now I got to go
there.
preach to people. And I feel like I'm wrong. So you know what? It's just best for me not to even be here. And I remember
Mm.
getting a big butcher knife. And I said, God, you have to let somebody call me. I need to know that you hear me and that my life means something. And somebody called me.
Mm-mm. No, I'm not saying I don't believe it, but ain't God good? Okay,
Yep.
so keep
Somebody
going.
called me who doesn't normally call me. And when they called me, I cried.
Wow.
When they called me, I
On the
cried.
spot.
And I may have preached the best sermon of my life,
Amen.
because now I'm preaching from a place that I know God is real,
Mm,
not just what I know about him or what I've heard about him. I'm speaking from a place
mm.
where now I can identify with people. Now I get it. Now this is no longer me preaching a sermon. Now this is me sharing my testimony. And so the message came out differently. And honestly, since then, my preaching, if you hear my platform, you hear my approach, it's not churchy, but it's direct and it's going to get you, because my
Mhm.
goal is not to give people religion. My goal is to give people experience through relationship.
That was part of my
So,
intro. That's just not churchy. You really, if you, I don't know, you can go there and be like, he not, faith. I don't know, but I love your platform. I think it's different, it's needed, but it's not different. It's what we're talking about, it's what's going on. And there's a sense of standard, a sense of expectation, so I love it. I y'all miss if y'all came in late, y'all missed my wonderful off the dome what do you call introduction of Sir Hale Speaks. and that is a shame. And you need to go back and watch my introduction, and you will never miss the beginning of the show again. I promise. Okay. Thank you so much for sharing that. And that was the one and only time that that was ever an issue, correct?
Absolutely.
Okay. Fatherhood. I
Mhm.
want to go into fatherhood. You know, you have your history, 5 years old, as we spoke about. Your father, in my opinion, gave you a wonderful uh um beginning. Yeah, beginning. Put, my man child, the wrestling, put that into you, but you lost him at 5. I don't think you mentioned you didn't have a stepfather or anything. And here you are, you're 19, 20, 18, 19.
Mhm.
Baby about to come. We talked about all your struggles to get there. And here we are. So, the first thing I would like to ask, when you found out Crystal was pregnant, how did you find out and what was your immediate thought?
So I was, well, number one, I've been praying for my kids since I was 7 years old. I've been praying for all of my
Amen.
kids since I was 7 years
Seven?
old. Yeah, I prayed that God would give me the
Mm.
grace and the skill to be the best father to my children. So this is why I take fatherhood so
Mm.
seriously. But we'll get to that. I'm sure we'll get to that later. But
Yes.
so I'm playing the piano. I'm at a friend's house on the corner, pink house at the piano in the corner with people around. Krista calls and says, "Hey, Ernest, I'm pregnant," and I was devastated.
You was devastated.
Devastated.
So devastated. What did that look like at that moment? I'm just curious. What did that look like for
I
you?
failed. I failed. As a Christian minister,
Oh.
I'm not supposed to have children out of wedlock. I don't preach to this. I don't
Oh.
preach this to the teenagers. I was part of the youth services. The elders heard me, and
Wow.
now I have done the very thing that I preached about: an instant condemnation. I felt devastated. Not to mention, I didn't have a place of my own. I just got a GD. I had no
Mm.
financial skills. I had no career, no college education. I had
Mm.
nothing. I didn't have a driver's license. I had nothing. And I knew that I wasn't prepared for this, but that these days I would dedicate my life to doing what it takes to be the best father that I could possibly be. And so it was devastating because I knew I wasn't ready, but it was also the thing that catalyzed me to work on myself and to be the best man that I could be for the sake of my children.
Right. Okay. I want to challenge you a little bit right here. If just
Sure.
entertain me, play along a little bit. So I hear this young man, this man child that was so insightful, so intentional. He can relate and see the despair on his mother, and she's trying to cover it up. I see this man here that goes on in details different life changing experiences. I see this man here that educated himself for the most part from a couple of traumas. He has developed this stutter, goes to the library, he overcomes that. I see intentionality all the way into right here, because you have shown me that your life, no matter what comes, you are in control of the outcome because you live so intentional. So my question is, and you're preaching to the youth not to do this and be a better man, be married, and all this stuff. So for one, you're having sex out of wedlock,
Again,
and not even no protection. So I'm curious, before you got there, did that even cross your mind? Because you live so intentional, everything for you. So I'm just curious, what was your thought process prior to that then?
I mean, I wanted to get some. I just too afraid to.
What, the condom?
No, I was trying to get some since forever. I was just ugly.
Yeah.
I didn't get the girls, and
Well, I
and then the other part was
Oh Lord, what?
So, and then I never wanted my reputation to take a hit. So I would have girls who would try to who throw it on me, but I didn't want anything to mess up my reputation. That listen, if you
Mm-hmm.
know me, there's two things that are important to me that I won't let anybody. I don't care who it has mess up. It is my
Mm-hmm.
reputation and it is my brand. Anybody come
Okay.
after that, we don't
Oh,
have anything because
right.
the Bible. I take that proverb scripture very seriously. That a good name is to be more desired than rubies. So my name, my brand makes a difference, right? So
Mm-hmm.
yeah, anyway, so that happens. And me and Krista, we're not using anything. I wasn't planning on it, but I had never been this close to a girl for this long. I had no idea how to
Gotcha.
conduct myself in the situation. No
Okay.
idea. Never
So what
dated.
what year
Mhm.
is this? I'm just curious.
Uh
What year is this?
18. I think I was 18.
No, what year? 19, I mean 2007
7.
when she
No,
got pregnant.
6.
Okay. 6
2006.
when she got
Yeah.
pregnant. Okay, so I'm still gonna give you just a little bit of pushback, and then we're gonna move forward. I promise, just a little bit more. I ain't had no nookie. I didn't overcome the pornography addiction and issues or whatever. And I gotta go back because I see the way you live in. I see your intention. In 2006, oh, she real quick, 2006 condoms everywhere, and you're preaching, you're in your spirituality, you're influencing kids. I'm just curious, so what I'm really trying to hear from you, what does that look like, because you've been so descriptive, and just to see, my point here is that man or that young man who's not making that right decision to go get that condom, to do some form of protection. So I want you, I would like for you, if you could, go back to, before you getting it, and you've been so intentional. I don't understand this one little part so far. So if you can help describe that, and I think it would be very helpful for other young men that this might come up against, because it's in there and I want to hear it.
Yeah, so my thing was with this is the girl I'm gonna be with. So ain't no need for all this. Oh, ain't no
Mm-hmm,
need
mm-hmm,
for. Now we tried it before. Now, of course, we tried before, but what happened. And but I'm like, this is the girl I'm gonna be with. So what's the use in all of this? That's what happened
sounds
with that
familiar.
mentality. I wasn't planning
Mm-hmm,
on being out in the street because I never wanted to be that guy. Now, don't get me wrong, I
mm-hmm,
love me some women, but I never wanted to be a man that has multiple women. I wanted to be the man that can love a woman completely, her be my lady, I'm her man, and we can explore and figure out all the extra stuff together. That's the kind of guy that I wanted to be. So when I
mm-hmm,
met Crystal, I didn't have my eyes on anybody else.
mm-hmm.
So there
Yeah.
was no need for protection.
So there was
I'm gonna
no
be
need
with
for
her.
protection. Okay, okay. There's no need for protection because I'm gonna
This is
be with her.
this is what
And,
this is my thinking.
yeah, and I want to also say, for people who might have came in a little bit later, he has already proposed to Crystal. They just haven't gotten married yet. Correct? I'm sorry,
Correct.
Hal. Okay, so they just haven't gotten married yet. Okay, so I guess I pushed enough there.
If
so
you got more
so
questions, I'm good to
no,
answer.
because I still don't understand why you just didn't get, you can get the nookie. Why you just didn't go buy a condom? Because
You
you
know
don't,
what?
because I'm thinking you really wanted, I'm thinking you wanted the possibility to be there, but you don't want to say, I'm planning for a child, but if it happens, it's happened. That's the Lord's will, versus the way you've been living all the way up until this point. So I can't believe, I do believe, but my mind is like, why didn't you buy a condom? And not that, either way, but I'm saying because of you were devastated. Here you are preaching these things. So that's the mindset I kind of want you to describe, rather, whatever it is. And if you already said it, forgive me. If you already said it, you're going to say the same thing. You don't have to repeat it. But it seemed like why didn't you buy a condom?
Well, so I think it's a good question. So let me
Okay.
tell you two things. One is I am I'm fantastic when I can practice. In arenas
Okay.
where I don't have any practice, I fail. And this is why my preaching has changed, because you preach from a place of knowledge, you preach from a place of arrogance. You preach from a place of understanding and compassion, then you can really minister to people. And this is something that no one ever sat down to me and said, Ernest, hey, be careful. Make sure. And Crystal wasn't, let me put that, Crystal wasn't that kind of girl. So she wasn't out there just doing anything. She was a good girl. She's a good girl, right? I just hadn't had any discipline. Remember, I'd never been on a lot of dates with girls. I'd never been intimate with girls before. The most that I did was around the church. So I didn't have all of this. So when this happened, my mindset was, we're going to be together and we're going to be just fine. There was no need for protection. But I also wasn't thinking that this one time could literally be the result of a child. And just as fate would have it, my stuff, I'm potent. So I think I kissed her. And as soon as I kissed her, that's when I don't even know we went through the full thing yet. She pregnant, right? So again, it's just not having that education, not having the awareness, and then not having an environment where it's like, Ernest, protect your future. Make sure you don't do something that you're not ready for. I didn't have any of that.
Okay.
I just knew after I did it, I got to be responsible. Uh-huh.
I know they're going to hate me out there because it's like, Kai, let it go. Okay, I'm pushing back a little bit more. Because, and let me explain a different way. After that answer, I'm going a little bit further because I hear what you're saying. And yes, I totally agree with it and I totally understand. So I'm not trying to say I would have made a different decision. I'm for the conversation, and because I can see guys, I'm gonna be this one be with, and this one I'm gonna do, and we here, blah blah blah.
We're gonna be together.
Things happen, right. And you already proposed, but you ain't married yet. Things happen, and then she pissed you off that one time. I ain't marrying her. I'll see my, I'm just saying for guys nowadays. So a little more pushback on that answer. Okay. I know if I'm mad, you're getting on your nerves. So
no, you're good.
All your history, never been through stuttering before. You never been through what was before that, the trauma, the way that the pastor came. You never been through that before, but you knew to go to your mama. You knew to tell her, So that's what I'm saying. I mean, you have displayed impeccable focus, decision, and I think because what I'm getting now, as you're getting older now, you're getting a little bit more lax with your intentionality. It's like he coming a little, he's like, okay, he didn't got through this. We go this way. He didn't got through this, So that's kind of what I'm trying to get across. You didn't got through all of that. And some bumps and bruises, of course. I don't want to, but here we go. And I just want the men, particularly, and the women, because believe me, I'm learning a lot, to get from this. Look how we get at 18, 19. Devastated. What? And so, that's what I'm trying to get at. So, you're not even thinking about a baby, or were you thinking like, if a baby comes, is good, is bad, or is it the Lord? That's what I'm not understanding. What your mindset changed right there a little bit, with those two things that I mentioned. And you are a minister, a youth minister at this time, and that's why it was so devastated. So that's what, and if if it's not a different answer, we for sure can move on. But
no, there's another piece to this. So you have to remember, in this time, this is when our family moves. I didn't have anybody. I'm in Texas. I don't have anybody out here. My brother is in Austin. My sister, I don't know where they are. When my mom moved, I didn't talk to my mom for a long time. I didn't know where she went. And I was the one back at the gymnasium myself, stuck there, no family, nobody. And Crystal was the only one that I had. And I needed to be accepted. I wanted to be loved. I wanted to finally be with somebody who just wanted me. And it became easier not to put up a fight because I've been fighting 19 years. So now I can kind of relax a little bit. I can take it easy a little bit. And then now, little did I know is that decision would create a whole nother monster. Little did I know, right? So it was a moment of vulnerability. Remember, I don't know what the love of a woman is. I don't know what that is. At this time, I've never gotten that. I never got an embrace just because I am me. Got love just because I am me. Accepted just because I am me. I never got that before. I never was listened to with compassion, with empathy, with understanding. It was always with contention. This is why I'm an expert when it comes to communicating, because I had to figure out all the hoops at an early age just to get my point across, right? And so by the time I meet Crystal, I don't need us to be in a perfect situation. I just need us to not be as bad as I've been used to. And
Right.
in that, once I get something that's not as bad as I'm used to, I get comfortable. 1 year of
Mm,
comfort changes my life,
mm.
and we're here now. Does it give
That's
more
a
context?
word. Yes, that's what I knew. That's a word right there. You got relaxed. You got comfortable.
I got
Yes,
tired.
it does. It, huh?
I got tired.
You got tired. You got tired of always being ready, preparing, fixing of yourself. So you got comfortable. You got relaxed. You're like, okay, and you got this beautiful woman next to you that's rocking with you because of you, with your chocolate self and whatever else you thought of yourself, with your history of stuttering, and you had to get a GED. You got this woman now. She rocking with you just because you. So you got comfortable. And
Mhm.
that old adversary, here he comes. He was waiting for that, and not to say, and I know people know this, but not to say it was a mistake. It wasn't.
Right.
It's just, okay, now here we go. Let's turn left. We was going straight. Now turning left. Okay, amen. And that's what I believe that you had in you, like, to share. Try not to get comfortable. If you really, get to a point to where you didn't did all this work, and I'm not sure is that at a point where men, and I'm just hypothetically speaking from what I hear from Sir Hale. I'm just evaluating history of listening and talking to other men that got a little comfortable, things was good, and we rocking, and then when that new reality hit, we got another decision to make. So I'm glad that you share that. For one, maybe it could be a little warning not to get so comfortable at that time. If you really, if it would be so devastated if your significant other got pregnant. And thank you for sharing that. And that is what I was hoping to get out there, that to be an example. And then ultimately, you took it on. Amen. You didn't run away. You stayed there. And then, so the next process, do we get married before the baby comes? No, 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 no,
Uh,
no. There's something that happened before that. I think you had shared with your youth ministry after the pregnancy, right? Can you tell us about
mhm.
that experience?
Yep. Say, hey, listen, youth pastor, I did something. I was with my girlfriend and I got her pregnant, and I want to see what I need to do to be restored. And the answer was, well, the
Mhm.
first thing, you got to step down. You can never be a youth intern here again.
Wait, what? Okay, wait. Rewind. Wait a minute. Okay,
Yep.
rewind. I wasn't expecting that. Okay, rewind. Okay, you went to your pastor.
Youth pastor.
You went to your youth pastor because you're under him.
Mhm.
You shared with him what you have done and what it is. Okay, now go again. One more again, please. One more again. I'm gonna make sure I heard you right.
Yeah. It
Okay.
was, I told them what I did, and my goal was I didn't have to say anything. They would have probably ever known. But I wanted to be restored. That was the purpose of me telling them.
Amen.
And so, but what was given to me is, you can go to a different ministry. You just can't, you probably won't ever be able to serve as a youth turn in. So immediately I wasn't an intern anymore. You can imagine how I felt
Mm.
now. I done lost it, now it just is downhill. And I wasn't gonna leave my wife, even though they told me to leave her. They were like, you got to get away from her. If she really cared about you, she wouldn't have put you in this position, and all kind of stuff.
Wow.
All kind of stuff was said. And
Yeah.
now I'm all mixed up. Now I'm all mixed up. And I'm like, just hold on. Maybe if she did, maybe, but this was my fault. She didn't make this baby
Yeah.
by herself. And so when I
Mhm.
heard that, I couldn't put the blame on her. This was my decision, and I've got to own that. And so what it did teach me, though, is that actions have consequences. So I couldn't be mad at them because they were protecting their youth from going down this path as well. And because I was vocal, and I'm the only Black intern at this point, my
Wait,
visibility was
you're
different.
only Black. Okay, okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
Got you.
So
I just wanted to
my
make it clear.
visibility is there. And so I'm noticeable at this point. So it made sense for them. But again, it crushed me at 18 years old because my whole purpose for telling them was to be restored. And I never got that restoration.
You know, when you just said that you understood because they have a brand to protect. And at the beginning of our interview, when I talked about how meticulous you are and things, you said it. I have a brand to protect. I'm building this brand. Don't interfere with my brand or, it's on, right? So look at that valuable lesson that I would assume maybe not you got it from there. Protect your brand. So that I think everything that we go through, everything that we experience is a lesson. It's a learning point. It's something to evolve. It's all in the way you react to it. It's not what happens, it's how you react to it is the real, decision making. Either you're going to evolve or you're going to crumble. Either
Absolutely.
you're gonna grow from it, or you just gonna be like, I don't give a damn, and you just gonna roll over in a ball and maybe disappear. You know what I mean? So it's
Absolutely.
all in the way that you react to what your situation is. So wow, I'm glad I remember that about, I knew something, I wasn't sure what it was, but I said something had happened there. Okay, is there anything else? I'm trying to think, is there anything else at this point? And then after this, I want to talk about fatherhood for a little bit.
Excellent. I don't have
Excellent.
anything
Okay.
else on this.
Okay, perfect. So you and Crystal are married. Junior's coming, and hey, you had all the thing there, everything else, and then tell us the transition into getting to your own place. The baby comes, and maybe the first year, because I think your two oldest are 2 years apart, 1 year apart. Wait, 1 year. Okay,
A little bit more than a year, just a
a little
little
bit
bit
more.
more than a year. Yeah.
Tell us that beginning, and then I want to hear specifically, how was it when your son firstborn and you see him, and that experience, if you don't mind.
Yeah. So it was terrible. It was the most roughest part of my life. The reason why is I end up getting an apartment. I'm like, yes, I'm working. I told all y'all haters I'd do this. I told y'all, let's go. Look at me now. I did it. Man child, right? So I finally get it. And everybody's proud of me because nobody helped me. Nobody helped me. Right. But it was great because now you want to see a man? I got you. I'm gonna show you something. And I ended up doing it. Terrible place, horrible place. I don't know why I moved in there. That's all I could afford though. Right. And so that happens. And then I'm not able to finish. I can't pay it because I start taking payday loans because I've learned so much not to do that. So Crystal's pregnant, and then I don't know even how I ended up staying with her and her mom because that's where she stayed with her mom, and I ended up staying with them for a bit. I don't know how that happened. Once the baby was born, it was terrible. When Ernest was born, my son was born. In the me and Crystal broke up during the pregnancy. She broke up with me. I forgot what it was for. Just broke up, and I don't know what happened. I ended up moving in, and I'll never forget, in the hospital when my son was born, my son came out with curly hair. And at that time, I started going bald. I cut my hair bald because I couldn't afford a good haircut. And I'm like, hey, I actually look good bald. So I kept it. The nurse says to me when Ernest comes out, well, this baby doesn't look like you. He's got curly hair. You don't have any hair. And so I took that as she's saying that the baby might not be mine.
Wow.
So it was horrible. And Crystal's mom reminded her, like, because Crystal didn't know, like, I'm troubled now because I'm like, dang, this is when it started to hit me that men can go, like, we'll never know if the child is ours. We have to trust 100%. We have to hope and believe that this kid is ours. And it's a fear that most women will never deal with. You can only empathize with. So I'm like, dang, is this kid mine? And then as the kid is born, me and Crystal end up getting into an argument one day about the kid. And she says to me, I said, this is my son. She said, how do you know this your son? And when she said this to me, it brought me back to what the nurse said. And I'm like, damn, you can't get over that. You can't ever forget that. And she didn't mean that at that time. She wasn't trying to do that. It was an argument. And we used the tactics that we know. And it certainly beat me because there was nothing that I can come back from that. And that's when I started to question, like, dang, did I make the right decision? Dang, I should have done this in the youth ministry. I should have. And now you go through all these regrets. Like, I wouldn't be here if I didn't do this.
Right.
And then to
Right.
compile on that, me and her were contentious. No communication skills. We were even physical at times.
Mm.
It was just very contentious. It got to a place one time, and I'll never forget, where
Mm.
we argued. It was about our son, and we got into a full-on wrestling match. Uh,
Wow.
Full-on wrestling match. The police were called. I went to jail. I'll never forget. I had some light blue, like hospital pants on. I didn't have a shirt on. Walked out to the police car. Go to jail. Stayed there for a couple of days,
Mm.
and ended up getting out of jail. Standing at the hospital in the ER room. Had to leave there, and I slept outside of the door of where my wife and her mom lived because I wanted to be close to the kid. But I couldn't be
Mm.
because I had a restraining order. So I couldn't be there at that age. And
Mm.
this is when my life, I'm like, Ernest, I'm becoming something that I don't want to be. Because here's the thing with unresolved trauma. And this is why I encourage you,
Mm.
before we just lock people up, before we write people up, and before we say, there's something wrong with you, unresolved trauma is going to express itself at some time. It's just a culmination of hurts, a culmination of pressure, and it will come out. And so during that time, this is when me and my wife, this is the first separation, where
Okay.
she's in Texas and then I moved to Illinois. And then
Mm.
this is when a whole nother set of issues start to arise because
Mm.
the premise of the marriage is off. The
Mm.
foundation is off. No marriage
Right.
counseling. I don't know what a husband is. I don't know what a daddy is. And I'm picking this up at 19, 20 years old. And because I'm mature now, because I've heard I'm mature, I'm supposed to know how to do this. And I have
Mm-hmm.
no clue how to be a man, no clue
Wow.
how to be a husband. And for damn sure, I don't have any clue on how to be a dad.
Wow. Wow. It's, you know, just because I
How
have
deep you
your
want to
full,
go?
you know me, huh? I got time, a lot of time. But I love it. Thank you for sharing that and being so honest. Being so honest and transparent with us about the physicality of it, about your experience. I love it in the sense that I hope that this is even therapy for you, to a certain degree or whatever it is, freeing and to share that and to free yourself. And you probably was already free. I keep thinking how many people, I was going to say men, but I want to say men and women. Your story is amazing. Okay, so keep going because I don't know what to ask next.
So this happens. We have more kids. We have more separations. Another kid, another separation, another kid, and there was um, something happened
Okay.
where, and me and my wife talked about this, where 2013, I believe, where we're separated again. And she's in the house because she had Kristen, my wife, she went through a very traumatic thing with her life because the last two pregnancies she dealt with what is called gangomastitis. And what that
Mm.
is the severe enlargement of the chest, and
The breast.
it
Mhm.
yeah, and then it gets under her arms, and she's in a lot of pain. And the doctors don't know what to do because it's such a rare disease that they don't know what to do. They have to figure this out. They have to, it's a whole lot. She's in different articles and magazines because of that. So she's dealing with a level of trauma. I have no clue what she's dealing with. I don't know how to deal with this,
Mhm.
and I still got to find a way to take care of our kids. And while we're together, and then she moves to Texas, and now I got to find a way trying to still be a father and be there and still work and send money. It was just terrible. And it got so bad that in one of our separations, I ended up, after a year, we were separated for, I think, 14 months. And I ended up meeting somebody. It wasn't intentional. It wasn't intentional at all, at all.
Mhm.
And it got so bad where social media was used and a post was put out there.
Oh.
And the post
Oh.
said, after all of these years, the father of these kids, my full name, has not sent me any money to take care of these kids. And
Oh.
now listen, I'm a preacher and
Mm.
my reputation. So, and church people, they don't want the whole story. They go off the, see, this is why I talk the way that I do, because
Mhm.
religious people will gossip when they should be praying and asking questions. And when that post was put out there, nobody understood the context. They didn't understand what she was going through, why she felt the need to go that far to be hurt, because she's in pain. She's going through things. She's unhurt and she's scared as well. And
Mhm.
because I'm out and I'm not dealing with that, they don't know that I'm dealing with that same hurt and scared as well. And this is why I try to be inquisitive with people because pain looks different. Some pain looks like it's in the hospital, and some pain is dressed up well. And if we discriminate on that, we miss people. This is why people self-delete, and we had no idea. It's because we wait for somebody to be in the hospital to see pain. And sometimes you can be pain dressed up in a nice suit or in a very nice dress, right? And that's why I try to be inquisitive about that. So that happens. If that post gets made, I get people saying all kind of stuff about me. He's a deadbeat dad. See, all black preachers are like that. See, Crystal, I told you could do better than that. I told you. All that was said. Even family members chimed in. And the very next day, I've got to go to church and preach. They dock my pay. They talk about me behind my back. It was absolutely terrible. And this is when I had my first therapy session. I just scheduled a session. Yep.
Amen. So you did that on your own? You pursued therapy on your... See, intentionality is coming back now. Amen.
Yeah, because I felt myself like I'm spiraling out of control now because people think that fathers who are away from their children, we're just having a good time. Real fathers who want to be fathers, it pains us to be away from our kids. And I don't think people understand that. A lot of people think that fathers can be away, they're out having a good time, they're out partying, they're just living carefree, and they don't know the stress of fatherhood. It doesn't matter the distance of where your kids is, the stress of fatherhood is with you wherever you go. And I dealt with that. I dealt with feeling like a failure as a father. I dealt with all of that. And this is why I'm so big on having these conversations, because there are other fathers and mothers who are dealing with this, and she doesn't understand how he feels. He doesn't understand how she feels. And the only way we get to an understanding is we both have the conversation and give each other space to be honest and let each other know that just because your hurt doesn't look like mine doesn't disqualify or nullify the hurt that I have.
Right. Amen. That's so true. Okay. So at this point, you guys are separated because you said baby separated. And that's where we're at.
Separated, baby separated.
Yeah. And that's where we're at now. And okay. And then so these things are going on. And then once again at the church, like you said, when they need to be praying, when they need to be more supportive, actually, they're distancing themselves from you instead of lifting you up. They're tearing you down more. And I think that that's why a lot of people nowadays, when you say that word Christian, it's almost like, and I feel so bad about that, but it's true. I've seen it for myself, and I'm disappointed in that. I am, and they're calling it out as they should. Of course, I still stand strong by my faith, but that is a problem. And that's a lot of conversation that's going on right now. But at this point, you decide I need some therapy. So so what does that decision look like? How did it come? I heard everything that happened. What was it that you talked to yourself? Did someone mention it? Did the Lord mention it? How did that come about that you need therapy? Or you need to go into therapy to help yourself?
Yeah, so just so happens I was volunteering for youth, and it's interesting. And I'm a youth mentor now. And they said that if you work in this, you get free counseling. You get it with the district.
Look at God.
And I'll never forget my counselor. It was fantastic because no one knew the depression I was going through, because I want to be a great father. When I was earning $50, that's all I was earning. I was to my wife, I would at this time, I would MoneyGram. I would MoneyGram $25. It would cost me $12. So I ended up spending $37 and I got 12 left. But the principle was doing what I could. So if I had $25, I'm gonna send some money. And I've always been that guy. And what hurt me is that people see what happens is people see a situation long enough and then their brain goes off. They no longer have to think and assume that this could be different. It's like, no, he's a black man, he's a preacher, he fits a criteria. Therefore, he is what he is. Now, to be fair, those churches have all come back to apologize to me. Every single one of them. Every single one of them. Right. And I didn't go seeking it. I didn't do it. But what happened is they ended up seeing my life. And watch this. The people who talked about me, they didn't know. I ended up asking them to take me to go wire money. And then when I did that, they said, hold on, Ernest, these last 2 Sundays, you've been sending money. Like, you do this every time? I said, every Sunday. I've been doing this for the last. And when I told them how long I've been doing it, because my goal wasn't to make anybody look bad, because I understood that hurt people, and it's a hurtful situation. they saw that I was putting money on a Green Dot card, and I was sending money on Green Dot out to Texas. So even if I got, other monies, I would always send it. Crystal never had to ask me for anything, because I knew I wanted to be a father. And I thought at that point that just being a father was just money. You just got to bring money, because no one ever taught me that my presence was valuable. I was a paycheck. And so that's what I knew how to do, was bring a paycheck. And we went through that. And it took me until the last 2013 when I came home to visit my youngest daughter. And she is the one who set my course on fatherhood around. At 2 years old, when I was leaving, she's the first person who said this when I was leaving. I visited, I was leaving. She said, Daddy, with a tear in her eye, Daddy, you leaving? I said, yeah, baby, I'll be back. And she said, Daddy, I don't want you to go. That's all I needed. I said, I will be back in 30 days. And in 30 days, I've been back, and I haven't looked back ever since. Because for the first time, my daughter taught me that my presence matter, and not just my presence.
I got
you see what I'm saying?
Yes, absolutely. That is amazing. So that is what got you back home, okay, from the back and forth a little bit. And I don't know, the time, what did Talk Hale say about our time? I want to be respectful of your time. Are we good?
I think so. I think we're good.
Okay. She's still in the chat, so I see her there. So great. Okay, so one thing I think, is there anything, okay, so we talk about fatherhood. Is there anything, okay, so I want to touch on the marriage, even though it's kind of been intertwined there. And please let me know if there's anything you don't want to share. So baby separated, somewhere in there, met someone else. And then at the end, if I'm not mistaken, I heard you kind of mention something that I was shocked about. Separated at the end in, I think, a relationship or something. Can you share with us whatever you would like about the course? What does that look like? And what made you go back? And then what made you leave again? And then what made you go back? That kind of, yeah, because once it's known, like once you leave twice, for the most part, there's no going back. So if you can explain, what does that look like? And then in the end, if you don't mind, if it's not included, what was it about Crystal that facilitated that?
So the first time she asked me to leave, she said, Ernest, can you go find somewhere to stay? She didn't know I was going to go back to Chicago. I didn't either. But I realized all this arguing ain't healthy. All this arguing, all this being mad, all this fussing, this is not healthy. And I don't want to be this person. So I went back to Illinois for the sole purpose of like, hold on, let's go back. Let's deal with this trauma. Let's deal with the stuff we didn't deal with in Indiana. Let's deal with the stuff we didn't with the past. Let's deal with the ugliness. Let's deal with the lack of education. Let's deal with all this stuff, because this stuff is causing an anger in me, because at this point, my wife doesn't have the life experience for me to be able to talk to her and handle that, because she got her own stuff. And I don't have a therapist. I don't have parents to go to talk about this. So I did have a big brother, though, who allowed me to vent and talk these things through, right? You see what I'm saying? And so I went back for the sole purpose, because I had become something that I didn't want to be. Angry, mad. And it really wasn't anger. It was really hurt disguised in frustration. And that looks like anger. And so I went back to work on all that stuff. And once we did that, I came back. We got into more contention. Every time we moved into a different place, contention. I moved back to Illinois. This time it's like, all right, my wife moves to Illinois. Contention. She moves back because of this pregnancy, back home again. We come visit back there. We move here. I go back to Illinois. She moves again. We get a house. We go through something again. We lose the house. She moves back to Texas. So this is how it all happened. In doing those, every time that I met someone, and it wasn't that I met somebody. It's like I volunteered, and they would say, hey, can you come have Bible study with me? And I'll absolutely have Bible study together. I didn't know what I was doing. I just liked the attention. And it turned into something more than what it was supposed to be. It was never intentional. I wanted to be with my wife because this is the one that I love. I just wanted her. I just needed to know that she wanted me. And I didn't feel that. I didn't feel she wanted me. And I think that's what created the issues in our marriage is I wanted to feel wanted. Okay, let's go back. Why? I never felt wanted in my family. I never felt wanted. right? And so part of this, it was toxic on my part because
Mhm.
I'm relying on her for something that maybe she's not supposed to provide, because I got to have some wholeness, because it's unfair for me to give her my brokenness and now she has to fix it when she has her own
Mhm.
stuff to deal with. You see what I'm
Mhm.
saying?
Right. Yeah, I
So
do.
this, so during this time, I ended
Mhm.
up meeting someone, and where I ended up living with a pastor friend, and he let me live in his office, stay in his office, and there was somebody who lived right across the street. Very very kind young lady, very kind. It wasn't nothing at first. I'll never speak badly on anybody
Right.
because this was the decision that I made. But we just started talking, being at Bible study together. She was just around. She just was around. I was lonely. I was depressed. I would work for 12 hours and sleep for 12 hours, work for 12 hours, sleep for 12 hours, right? And she just cared. And during that separation, after that social media thing, she was there to help lift my spirits up. And that became, there was this, I knew it was wrong, but I felt obligated, because how can I just forget somebody who was there for me? Very confusing thing. And
Right.
I allowed myself to enter into something that I never should have done that, and
Okay.
I take full responsibility. So here is the culmination of all this. I walked in shame for so long.
Mm.
I walked in shame for so long. I couldn't tell anybody how I
Mhm.
was feeling. I just had to suck it up, be a man, because I should have known better. And
Mm.
there was levels to this. There are layers to this. There was reasons for this that nobody ever asked me about. I was supposed to
Mhm.
just be the preacher, the daddy, and I made a
Right.
mistake.
Hmm.
And I didn't realize until my elder told me. He said, "Ernest, you living like you're a 45-year-old man in your 20s. You have no idea what you're doing. Of course you're screwing it up. You don't know what you're doing." And I had to give
Mhm.
myself some grace to change.
Yeah.
And since I gave myself some grace, things have changed. Things have changed.
Wow. 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 Thank you for being so candid. Absolutely. Thank you for that. I really appreciate that. And wow. Okay. So I'm going to assume it was a full relationship type thing went with the other woman. And okay, so if you don't mind, so you have to tell Crystal. I don't
Mhm.
know at what point she knows this, or I can't even imagine what that looked like. If is it okay if you share what that looks like for
Sure.
us? Okay,
Absolutely.
absolutely. So before you go there, so I just want to see, because back and forth a couple of times now, if I heard you right, it seemed like when you went again, was it the same woman again? Because you said a couple of times.
Yeah, so
So
when I was 23 years old, I met somebody. But
okay,
this context, y'all, it ain't like we split up because there was somebody else. I was
right,
always at church, and I was
right.
23 the first time it happened, and we were separated for 14 months. 14
Mhm,
months. 14 months. I hadn't seen my wife, and I would go up to visit, but we didn't have a relationship for 14 months. And I would meet people, I would preach, I would speak, and they would try to get me, right? They would try to get my attention.
mhm.
And that's how it started. But
Oh,
those things they didn't last very long, to be honest with you. There was, because I didn't want that. I wanted my wife, right?
right.
I was just lonely, and I needed somebody to talk to. And at 23 years old, I didn't know how to navigate that. I'm a separated father at 23 years old. I don't know
I
what to do
feel
with
you.
this. Right.
Right.
And again, I look at now, and I didn't give myself grace. I was so hard on myself and so shamed that I didn't tell people. And me not telling people is what made me spiral even deeper, because I didn't have
Mhm,
nobody to talk to about this. Right.
mhm, mhm.
So
Exactly.
again, taking full responsibility, but
Amen.
learning from that experience as well. And I didn't want to hurt my wife. I never wanted to
Mm,
hurt her. I never wanted anybody else. I
right.
never wanted anybody else. And it hurt me that I hurt her. So whenever we talked about reconciling, I would say, "Babe, hey, here's what I did. Now this is up to
Oh,
you, babe. If you can forgive me, then I'm willing to do this as well." So she never had to find
mm.
out. I always told her,
Amen.
because I wanted her in the first place. So
Mhm, mhm. Man of honor. That part right there, being a man of honor, that does more for a woman than anything. Like you said, she didn't have to find out. You were very honest with her and told her up front. Okay, that's first time now. Okay. So together, break up again. Okay. What does that look like?
the same thing. Now listen, it wasn't every time we broke up there was somebody else.
Oh,
It
I thought it
was
was every time.
Now, every time we separated, it was a baby that me and her had, but it wasn't every time I met somebody. This was like
Oh,
23. It was like 23, 25, 26.
okay, okay.
And again, we were separated for over a year each time, right?
So 26 with the last one, with the second time. Did it look any different, or did it look like the first time you just went and was honest with her and everything was good?
Yeah, so this one was a little different because I
Okay.
thought I found a friend and she was a decent person. And with the stuff Crystal and I were going through, I'm like, you know what? Maybe I did marry wrong. We destroying each other. It's
Oh.
and she was a complete cater to me.
Mhm.
She just loved on me, just loved everything about me. The first time, oh, sexy black man. I'm like, oh, I'm a sexy black man. Oh, am I now? Oh, didn't know what to do with this. And
Right,
I mean,
right.
this is the first time that it's just thrown on me. I had no clue, and but I wanted my wife. And they would
I
always
hear
ask
you.
me, like, you still love your wife? I absolutely do. Like, don't get this twisted. This ain't a relationship. I want my wife.
Mhm.
I love my wife. And they got mad at
Mhm.
me for that. And they would try to call Krista in Texas to try to sabotage what little relationship we had, because I was always upfront that
Mhm.
nothing gets in the way of my. I don't care what she does. I'm not gonna badmouth her.
Right,
I'm not gonna put her down. And if you do, we're
right.
gonna have problems, because I wanted to be with my wife. I just didn't. It was a tough time, and when I think about it now, I'm ashamed of it. I wish
I
it never happened.
Of
But
course.
if this can help somebody else to navigate through this, I don't want
Yeah.
people to go down this path as well, because it opens up wounds that it takes years to recover from.
Mhm, mhm. Yeah, that's the whole purpose that I wanted you to share about that, because it does help someone else. And I know there's more, like, of course, with Crystal, with the healing side for her personally, as well. Did she get counseling as well? Because we mentioned you getting counseling through the youth place that you were working. Don't answer that question. Okay, so that's the marriage. Okay, fun time a little bit. Okay, okay. So you an intentional millionaire. I know y'all saw my question on that show, and y'all just ignored it. Okay, maybe you didn't. So you sitting there, you know. I don't know. I don't remember what you had on. He's sitting there, and I was like, "Do y'all work out together?" These big old arms, these fine black men sitting up here. I'm like, God is good.
Now
I
I'll
wanted
tell you the story behind
to.
this.
Okay,
Now,
okay.
my wife sometimes get upset when I tell the story.
Uh
So
oh.
when I met
Don't
when
blame
I
me,
met my
Chris.
wife, when I met my wife, I was very skinny. I'm talking about
Okay.
like po thing,
Well, they feed them. Give them
po
something to
thing.
eat.
Yep, that's how it was. Because
It's
I
like,
walked a lot and I was skinny. And my wife would be with a girlfriend, and she'd just be bragging on these other men. Like, girl, look at his muscles. Girl, look how good he looked. Look how fine he was. I'm like, baby,
oh,
you gonna do this in front of me? And I'm
there
like, all
you
right.
go.
I'm like, all right. I was 21. I said, and I marked my words. I said, baby, one day other women are gonna look at me like you look at those other men. And as soon as I told her that, I started doing push-ups.
Yeah.
I mean, got cut and built real quickly, and
See?
we never had that problem again, right?
Ooh,
Because
Crystal.
it, it hurt my feelings at that time. I'm like, first of all, you'll never compliment me like that, and I wanted to know that I was wanted by her, and that hurt me
Right.
at that age. And so what did I do to compensate that? I worked out, and that's what's inspired
Mhm.
me to work out. So I mean, it
Wow.
worked. The benefits are good, but it came from a completely unhealthy place.
You don't think I know you can't stop, but dang, you good, right? No, I'm kidding. I'm like, y'all sitting up there, these fine specimens. Okay, but anyway, so and one more, maybe I want to bring it back, because I keep hearing this word from you. I keep hearing hurt. Through the whole interview, I've been hearing hurt. Our conversation, I should say. And I know you went through therapy.
Huh?
So okay, so I guess when I'm how did the therapy help, for one? And was that the focus? Was it the hurt? Because I keep hearing that, and I'm curious. Whatever you can share about hurt and overcoming it. And yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah. Well, two things. I didn't want to hurt my wife. And I'm a type A personality. So when I'm focused on
Yeah.
something, I'm all in. And I can be too overbearing at times. I can be too
Yeah.
overbearing. That's something I don't like about myself that I am working on.
Okay.
And so when I was angry, I've said a lot of hurtful things to my wife that if I could go back and change it, I would absolutely not say it. Absolutely not. I hurt her some way. So I never wanted to be that guy. And so part of me going through therapy was not just because I felt hurt, but because I felt like I had done hurt. And I needed to find a way to
Oh,
heal myself so that I wouldn't keep on damaging my wife. That was
okay.
the mentality behind that.
Oh, okay. So I took it the opposite way. You're displaying hurt, but you're talking about hurting your wife.
Yep. So with my
Oh,
words and like just even my attitude toward her, because after a while, like I said, we were contentious, and my love turned off because I was protecting myself because we just weren't at a good place. And but she is a person I loved, right? So I wanted
okay.
to go to counseling so that we could be good on that. And
Mm.
that was the purpose for going to counseling. And then in that time, that's when that social media thing happened. I'm like, listen, am I going crazy? Right? Yeah, like I said, my
Right.
wife, we went through some things
Mhm.
where like I'll let her tell it. I'll let her tell this
Okay.
side of it.
Okay.
And,
Yeah.
and for those of you who are listening, we were young, so the things we did,
Absolutely.
thinking about it now, we wouldn't have done those things. So it sounds bad
Absolutely.
now, but she wasn't a bad person. I wasn't a bad guy. We were young, we
No.
were dumb, we didn't know what we were doing, and we made a whole mess of things. So I want to put that out there. I want to put that out
But
there.
but that whole mess of things has brought you this fine couple now because of all that mess. So it's all good. It brought Sir Hale here and his beautiful wife Crystal. So all of that, those things needed to happen to get us here is what I believe. Okay. Ah, you took me there and I had like the perfect, oh, it's gonna kill me. Okay, anyway, it's really going to kill me, but that's okay. I'm gonna get it back. Dang, I had something perfect. Okay, so I want to go into wait, I want to show something real quick. If let's see if
Sure.
I can do this. If you don't mind. Okay. Let's see. Let's see if my camera's gonna get it. Look at
Yep.
that.
Harvey, Illinois. I remember that like yesterday.
Right. I don't, you wasn't even dark. You're darker now than there. Look at there. So look how she's looking at you. Those eyes. Okay, so it didn't come to me. Oh, yes, it did. It just came to me. Okay, so do you want more kids? And this is the
I
last
do.
marriage question. You do want more quick kids.
I do. I've got 4 now. My goal, I wanted to have 6, but ended up getting a what you call that thing? Vasectomy, because my wife, we didn't want her to ever go through what she went through again.
Wow.
But
Okay.
absolutely, I wanted 6 kids. That's what we got, the 6-bedroom
Mm,
house. I wanted kids. And
mm,
but we didn't want to risk her having to go through that again.
right.
I'll never want to see her in that pain again, ever. I never want to
Right.
see her with that again.
Okay. Can you real quickly, if you don't mind, because a lot of men think vasectomy, I'm not gonna be able to perform, get it up, shoot. Can you just explain just a little bit like your experience with it, I guess, and not telling men to do it or not, just getting a little bit more information out there to educate our brothers about a vasectomy.
Yeah, so I'm going to do a whole video on this, but in short,
Oh,
yeah, in
okay.
short, this is good. Don't get that unless you are absolutely sure you don't want children, because
Mm,
that decision will haunt you forever. That's one.
mm,
Don't. That's just one. That's one. The second thing is it's not what people think it is. It's not gonna hurt you. It's not
mm.
going to mess you up. Now you'll be down out of commission for 2 weeks. I'll never forget, 2 weeks went by and I'm like, listen, Lord, something ain't happening. They broke it. They broke it. And I'm like, life ain't worth living, right? So, like, it takes about 2 weeks. You got to take care of yourself. But
Oh,
again, it's not a real invasive procedure, and as long as you can take it easy for about 2 weeks, you'll be okay.
be
After
okay.
you get it, though, go get a checkup, because you have to make sure that it actually work. You have to make sure that after they, detach, that it doesn't reattach. So that's a big thing. Most men, I want to say about 75% of men don't go back and get checked. So if you're going to go get that, go back after that, the checkup afterwards, and make sure that it actually took effect.
Okay. Couple of fun questions, and then I don't if it we got a few people in here. I don't know if anyone have any questions or would like to come up and express how wonderful it. Do you mind? I'll put the invite in,
Please.
to see. And I just have some fun questions that I want to ask you, and we'll go from there. So, you guys, at this time, like I said, we're just, wrapping things up a little bit here, and gonna have a little bit of fun. And then if anyone wants to come up, I would encourage you to. I truly feel that Sir Hale Speaks has been very transparent with us. He has shared basically his entire life with us. Even if you don't have any questions, I would love it if you guys will come up, show him some love, show him how much we appreciate him sharing his life with us. So I would encourage you at least to. I know you guys been in the chat, and I haven't looked at one comment because I've been enjoying and focusing on, talking with Sir Hell. So, and I seen him peeking a little bit, but I don't know what he's read. But let's come up and thank him for his time. And if you have questions, that would be fun as well. Again, just be respectful, of course, I would ask. And yeah, so I hope you guys come up. Okay, so first question. Oh, I wanted to share. Okay, no, I'll share that. I got a part I'm gonna share that with. Let me put me a little note here. Okay, so if you can have any superpowers in the whole world, what would it be and why?
Wisdom.
That's not a
I would.
superpower. No, you gotta go Marvel or whatever those can't. You can't be that. Okay, you have okay wisdom. We'll keep it there. I'm wisdom. Okay, go.
I
Why?
just think wisdom. I think wisdom gives you. I think wisdom is a superpower. It gives you the ability to understand how things work, why things are,
Okay.
and a basis for making decisions on that. I'm a thinker. I'm a critical thinker. If I had a
Okay.
superpower, it would be that.
You see how quickly I changed that, because it's like, here you go, Kai, trying to tell somebody how to answer the question. See, I'm telling you, I'm telling you, my third and last husband, I'm a perfect wife. You're gonna have the best marriage in your life, I promise. Just come find me, be worthy. Okay, anyway, hi Vaughn.
Wow.
Hey, sir.
Hello. Hello.
How
Hello.
are you?
Peace and blessings.
Thank you.
I have,
How
I
you
have,
enjoy? Okay, go
huh?
ahead.
I didn't
I
hear
was
you.
going to ask you how you enjoyed the conversation that we have had.
Oh man, just thoroughly awesome.
Oh, thank
Words
you.
cannot express, what I have heard on this stream.
Oh.
And a shout out to Sir Hale Speaks because, you
Mm-hmm.
know, our stories are so similar. You
Wow.
know, I
See?
swear, my eyes welled up listening
Hmm.
to some of his encounters because it's like the same thing.
Hmm.
And, I have a desire to actually collaborate with him on his show if he wants to do a topic about that, because I feel like a lot of brothers have gone through some things that we have internalized, and I remember him using that exact word, internalize. Some things you go through that are traumas, you internalize them and you don't talk about them and you just don't, you know. And I don't know. I think it would be very helpful to many, but man, all I could say is I am in awe of your story. I'm definitely in awe, because it took me back. That's all I can say is it took me back, and I just appreciate you
Mm-hmm.
having the courage to to share, some of those private things, and I've done it too, but I haven't done it like to a certain extent that I would like to. It's just, I kind of surface, talked about it surface. But man, you are so encouraging tonight, sir. Hale speaks.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Thank
Yes,
you.
sir. Yes,
Thank you,
sir.
Vaughn. Do you have any questions? Maybe even, well, I don't know. You're serious all the time. I was going to ask you have a fun question, but
I'm
is there
serious all the
anything?
time.
Huh?
I'm not serious all the time, am I?
Mm, okay, no, you're not.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, I do like to have fun, I do,
Oh,
I do things.
I'm sure you do. Do you have a
Yeah.
question for Sir Hells?
No, actually, I asked the question in the chat, and,
Okay.
I asked him
I
if
know.
maybe we could collaborate one day. And so that was
Absolutely.
basically, yeah, that was basically I don't have I'm not a content creator. I don't have a platform, but I would definitely come up on yours and share if that would be helpful to
That's
someone.
going to be great for you guys.
If we can, I'm gonna put my email in the into the chat. If you can email,
Yes.
let's exchange contact, and we'll make that happen. I would love it. And thank you. Like when I talk about these things, sometimes I can get embarrassed because I'm like, oh, I'm deep in the waters on here now, and you telling me that I'm not by myself. That means a lot. So I want to thank you. I consider you an elder. I respect you
Yeah,
as an elder, and I
yeah.
appreciate you affirming my experience. I want to say thank you as a student and somebody who respects his elder. Thank you so much for your words.
Wow. I appreciate that,
Mhm.
man, because that's an honor that I get from my 16-year-old because
Mm.
I'm his dad. But to hear someone say that to me, I'm very honored to hear that. But our stories are so similar, and oh man, when everything I heard you say, I was just almost sitting here bawling. I'm not ashamed to say it because real
Amen.
men know how to shed a tear. We just don't do it in public, and we don't do a boo-hoo all the
Well, let me tell you, on my
time. It
show
de-
the other day,
it
Yeah.
I
depends
cried
on the
like a baby on my
situation.
show.
It depends
Mhm.
on the situation.
Yeah,
But
Kaya
you
got me.
know,
It's because she was
yeah,
there. That's what it always
but and
happens.
it's okay because
It's
these
okay.
issues, the things that you tapped on tonight, uh, man, I can't imagine if this stream would just go viral. I
Mm.
can't imagine all of the people that would help.
Right.
You know, all of those insecurities that you talked about when you were
Mhm.
growing up, and how you saw yourself based on your what you experienced in your youth. These are all of the things that and you know what? I'll be 60 in a minute, and I'm telling you, these things you learn how to live with them, but it's something that you don't forget. You
Yes,
never
sir.
forget. You never forget. And even when you have children, you're extra careful. And even, you know, God blessed me with a beautiful wife, and we've been together going on 20 years. You know what I'm saying? And I thank God for her. I thank God for the whole. This is an experience that I thought I would never have, you know, because at one time I was wayward myself, doing a whole bunch of stuff. But we'll get into that on Sir Hale's show.
Mhm. Amen.
Yeah.
So Vaughn, that's it for now.
Okay. Yes. Thank you for having me.
No, my pleasure. I appreciate you very much. The best moderator in the world.
Well, I'm
Shout
trying.
out to you.
I'm
Absolutely.
Right.
Absolutely.
I'm like,
definitely trying. Definitely
yeah,
trying.
and the way you come up, like the how you said, who's speaking and the title, he be reminding me. I'm like, oh yeah, that is what we speaking about, huh?
But I believe that's what we should do is to keep the people in
Yeah,
the chat on topic and keep
right,
you on topic and your guests on topic. And,
right.
sometimes these topics go way left.
Yep.
Even though you keep typing them in there, the chat, they still go way left.
Yeah, so I
Abs-
totally appreciate you for that. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, thank you. And yes, let me see. Did you put your information in there? If
I
not,
did.
you can.
I don't see it coming up, but I did put it in
Well,
there.
well,
Sometimes,
listen,
sometimes it'll
listen.
take
Mine,
more.
mine, mine is very easy because,
His
you
is
know,
too.
mine is very easy. It's just my first name and my last name at Yahoo. So, I mean, you can't forget that, right?
Okay. And mine
And
is
whoever
Sir Hale
whoever else
at
wants to email me, I have a list.
sirhalespeaks.com.
I think he's speaking at the same
Oh,
time. I think he. Oh,
I'm
here.
sorry. What'd you say?
Also, mine is Sir Hale at sirhalespeaks.com. So yeah, we
Oh,
got easy ones to remember.
Mm-hmm.
okay. Surhill at surhill.speaks.com. Okay. Definitely, I will be getting that information to you. Kaya, thank you so much.
Thank you.
You
I
know, and
appreciate
you
that.
look so beautiful tonight. Not that you don't look good on the other nights,
Thank
you
you.
know.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, give me one of those things.
Yeah, but
Thank
you
you so
really
much. I
do, and
appreciate it.
I appreciate your content. I appreciate your honesty and your
Thank
sincerity, number one. And it
Absolutely.
definitely shows. It definitely shows. So I
Oh,
have
thank you.
absolutely no problem sharing my time with you because, you know, I thoroughly appreciate, I see what it is that you're trying to accomplish. And
Mm-hmm.
so, yeah, anything that I can do to help, I'll be a part of that.
Well, I appreciate you so much for that. I really do. I look forward to it when you're here all the time because I know someone has my back for sure. I'm like, Vaughn, is it okay, Vaughn? And there go lovely Crystal. Love the interview, Kaya and Sir Hale Speaks. Thank you, love. I appreciate that very, very much. And I want to put it out there again. If anybody would like to come up, show some gratitude for Sir Hale. I was about to say Sir Hale praise. Sir Hale speaks. I would love for you to come up, give him a little love, and if you have a question, that will be great as well. Okay, so the next thing I wanted to ask you is okay, 34, right? Yep. Okay.
34.
34. So, what would the best advice for teen Sir Hell Speaks, best advice for adult Sir Hell Speaks, and the best advice for future Sir Hell Speaks?
I would say you are a man child. There is nothing you can't get through. Don't you ever doubt yourself because life is going to be beautiful. That's what I would say at every one of those ages.
Amen. I was thinking the same thing. I'm like, dang, but that, and you said, I was like, he put that in all of them. And you know what that truly says? That is your core. That is your foundation. That is what continues to keep you progressing, evolving, and continue to become the best you. At every state. And I know I gave you a little pushback on with that transition at 18, 19, but that truly is who you are. That what your father did was so amazing, so amazing. And I know Crystal, she be making those shirts. Crystal, make a black and white shirt, say man child. Okay, so okay, well, gosh, you got to do that one quick. Okay, what is, look what I have. I've been reading. This is you an intentional million. I had it. And actually, so far, it's a good read because I know you had said it gets a little, challenging or boring or slow. Haven't gotten there yet. So, what is your favorite book, or either way you can answer either your favorite book or a book that you would recommend for men? I don't know what that, like, young adult men. Either do both actually. Oh Lord. Okay,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Favorite is Do I Stay or Do I Go? Written by E.G.
Good answer. Good answer.
Do I stay or do I go? You know, what's funny about this book is people think that it's just relationships, and it is, but it's not.
Okay.
The key relationship is not the relationship to others. It is the relationship to yourself.
Amen.
That's the
Ooh.
premise of this book. We get people to develop relationships based off of their purpose. And so that's what this book is
Mm-hmm.
about. So I would
Oh,
say
I
if
love
you're going to
that.
get a book, get this book, one of the best reads of your life.
Wow.
A
Ooh, that's
second one
good.
that's a
Okay.
second one that's pretty good as well is Think and Grow Rich. You got to get this one as well. You got to get this. You got to have it.
And I bought this book back when Shannon Rouse was
Mhm.
reading it on his podcast. So I got it then. I got it late. And then it's like everyone's talking about this book. So I was just like, Lord, please don't let me be disappointed, because it's like, and I'm hearing it from you. So I'm got a little bit more hope, and then Intentional Millionaire as well. And so far, it really is a good read. I'm enjoying it. And yeah, so I'll leave that there for now. As far as okay, what is your favorite movie?
300.
What is 300?
This is Sparta. That's my favorite movie.
Oh gosh, someone else just said that, right? Was that on your show? It might have
I'm
been
not
your show.
sure.
Spartacus. Oh no, I think that was on one of the young guys. Jedi Mike 7. I think he mentioned that. So Spartacus 300 rather.
300. That is, I've watched that movie, not even kidding, probably 500 times.
Really?
It is my
Okay.
favorite movie.
And that is dated in the way back, right? I mean, even the movie
I,
is
I think I think it came out maybe, I don't know when it came out. I think it had to be like
okay.
2008 or 9 or something.
Oh,
One of
okay.
my favorite all-time movies.
I've never seen it, so of course I have to watch it. This is the second time I've heard it in a couple of weeks. Okay, favorite quote.
Oh, I got this one. We
Okay.
move forward by moving up.
Amen. I love that. We move
Shameless plugs.
forward by
Shameless
moving
plugs.
up. That ain't shameless. That's smart. You're a smart man. You intelligent. Amen. I love it. I love it. And the shirts are available, you know,
Yes.
at all Sir Hale's connections. We will be addressing all these connections. Don't worry about it. I don't know if his lovely pop in commercial break would like to pop up. She's more than welcome to as well. Okay, so I want to end this. No one's coming up, you guys. All these women. Okay, I gotta. Is it a PCA? Wait, what is it called? Public
Uh,
service announcement. Huh?
PSA.
PSA. Okay, I got a PSA, young ladies. I want to say this. I see all these beautiful young. Well, I don't know if you're beautiful or not, to be honest, but I'm assuming. I see all these women in the chat. You guys got this fine chocolate brother right here. Yeah, he married, but we can still give him a compliment. We can tell him how fine and handsome he is and give him some encouragement. Look at that smile. We can still do that. We're not disrespecting his wife. Come up and give this brother some love. What's wrong with us? That's what we need to do. We need to encourage our brothers. And it's not being disrespectful. It's your intent behind it. And that's what our brothers need. They need to know that we are here for them. They need to know that we encourage them, we support them. Bring your butts up here and say something. And if y'all
Talk here.
don't,
It's talk here.
but
And really, to be honest, and I'll say this, it really will be encouraging
yeah,
because as I step
thank
out and I move
you.
into this more motivational stuff, I do need to hear. I do want to hear it. If you think that this is something
Mm,
that people can
mm.
benefit from, I need to hear that. I want to hear that. So
Right. I mean, even for all men, that's one thing we don't do as sisters, as Black women. Lift our men's up. They hear enough destruction out here. They hear all of this bullshit all the time. Like, oh, the Black man this and the Black man that. the least we can do is encourage our Black men. I love our Black men, my Black men. You know, come on, ladies. One of y'all. Okay, anyway, I'll do it. Sir Hale, my fine chocolate brother. I love you. I appreciate you. You are an
Thank you.
amazing man. You really are. And I'm so proud of you. And I look
Thank you.
forward to what is to come from you. I'm excited to see. I'm excited to see what comes of your boys, all your kids, of course, but those fine Black young boys that you're raising up. I'm looking forward to that as well. So you keep doing you, brother. And I'm telling you, I'm on your side all the way, all the
Thank you
way.
so much.
Need me
That
for
means
anything. If I'm able to do it, I am there. I promise you, I'm there. So
thank you so much.
I
That
love
means a whole lot.
you.
Thank
My
you.
pleasure.
It, I do
Pleasure.
have an ask of you though.
Yes,
I would like to use this video on my website to promote
absolutely.
my speaking. I don't want anybody else to have done the interview except for Kyia. So if you're okay with that, I want to use it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Okay. So get your pens and your papers out, or is more modern time. Maybe you could use your phone. But we got a commercial break in the house. So we got some things we would like for you to support. That of course is going to help you. Let's support our Black community, our Black people. Without further ado, let's bring up Talk Hell. She in the door.
Hello, hello, hello. Oh my God, let me turn off my camera. I'm sorry.
That's
Oh,
a,
hold on. I gotta turn off my
Don't
phone's
give
full of yellow
everybody a
stickers.
show, Lady Hell.
No, back up.
right. Yeah,
All
I
right,
got
okay.
one.
Hold on. All right. First of all, that was a
Look,
wonderful interview
thank
that happened
you.
tonight. It was very honest and from definitely an honest place. And
Mhm.
everything, and it's of course when you're going through something, you like you don't necessarily you like, oh God, when it's going to end, or you know, but
Right.
to see that it's helping so many people, I guess, is the blessing of it all. And
Right.
and the fact that he shared his truth tonight, I really appreciate that. And for everyone just being so kind and non-judgmental, because sometimes, people be like, damn, he should have left your ass, or he shouldn't have been there, you know what I'm saying? um
Right.
like it come across like that. But
No judgment,
however,
guys. We all got our things we've been through. This is a no, non-judgment zone. I encourage, and I'm Chris. I'm proud of you, girl. You hung in there. I just want to throw that out. I'm proud of you and not giving up and hanging in there with your family. I think family is very important. So I'm proud of you, for trusting and believing in this, in your husband, in this Black man here, and keeping our Black family together. So, love, I applaud you as well.
well, and I would say that this as well, is that Sir Hale, one thing he is big about is preservation of family. We can
Mhm.
do what, we get into it or whatever, but at the end of the day, our decisions, it's not like for us, when you're in your 20s, you're selfish. You're only think about yourself. You only think about what this is going to do for you and what you're feeling. But however, as you mature, you realize that our purpose in life are ultimately bigger than us. It's bigger than our
Mhm.
children, and also just being that example that we haven't seen, and being that example even other people haven't even seen,
Right.
because healthy is not the norm anymore. Just like values aren't the norm anymore.
Right.
And sometimes it,
Mm.
it is a big weight of responsibility, because you have a lot of people looking up to you. And sometimes it can make you literally seem like you're not human. But at the end of the day,
Right.
even aren't Sir Hale showed his vulnerability, his humanness, even as a believer. Like
Right.
he was a minister in church. I wasn't a person that was in church either. I was an ordained elder in the church. So that it wasn't just like, you know um I was this devil chasing him, because I swear to God I wasn't, or anything. But like I said, this is a wonderful interview, and thank you so much for having Sir Hale tonight. And for the audience as well, if you can go to eghale.org. Y'all know I had to come into the commercial.
Yeah.
eghale.org. Click on
You're
shop.
saying it so fast, Crystal. I'm not even able to pick it up. If you want to put it in the private chat, I can give it over to Vaughn. But if you can say a little bit slower so we can get it.
Okay.
Okay. Oh, did she leave us? Did I say something wrong? I meant the private chat. Did she leave?
She probably.
Crystal, what happened? Oh, Black Man Unfiltered, you better come on up and give your brother some love. What? I love you guys so much. I'm doing a live and watch. Oh, okay, okay. Amen. Thank you, Black Man Unfiltered. And I did share how I met him through you, through your show. Oh, here she comes. Okay.
I'm on my phone, so I pressed the done button and I wasn't
I'm like, ooh, I made her mad. She left. She's like, okay, bye.
no. I'm okay. Let me slow it down a little bit. I do get excited because y'all know that's how we eat. So
Right, amen.
that's how we eat. So
We
I
need
need
some
y'all to go
dinner.
and support the chat. Support the site, which is www.eghale.org. Again,
Okay.
that's
And Vaughn, I'm putting it in there
www.
right now, Vaughn, from the okay, there you go. Yes.
eghale.org. And so when you go on the website, you're able to get any merch that's available. And since she said man child, we'll have some man child hoodies
See,
and shirts
amen.
available tomorrow.
Ask and you shall receive.
That's
Mm-hmm.
right.
I want a
And
black
I'll
and
make sure
white
you
one.
get one, Miss Kyia, so you can wear it
Thank
one
you.
day as well.
Mm-hmm.
But we'll have those available tomorrow on the website because I'm just not by the computer right now. But we'll have
Mm-hmm.
those available on the website tomorrow. There's shirts, there's books, digital books, all types of things. So go on there if you want to set up a consult or whatever with Sir Hale. You're able to do that. We do also accept Sezzle. Sezzle allows you to break up anything over 4 payments if you want to do that. So
Mm.
yes, so there's no excuse. We make sure everything is affordable for everyone. So please go
Now,
and support the
now,
channels, feed the babies.
let me say this. Let me say this. Let me say this, guys. This is not how we eat. Like this is marketing.
Yes, it
Um,
is. That's how we
my
eat.
no, it's
Thank
not.
you. No,
No,
That's how we
guys,
eat.
no, guys, no, it's not. So what we do, I want you guys to support,
Okay.
but my goal is not to get rich off of this. My goal is to empower. And if I happen to get rich, great. But I want the focus to be, we want to empower you guys. So go there, take a look around. There's coaching available. There's books there. There's podcasts. You guys go do that. My goal is not for us to eat. My goal is for you to eat. So let's do that. I want you guys to be fed.
But we're not eating a lot. That's the point. We're not eating a lot next. Oh, I'm kidding. Okay, go ahead, Kirsten.
well, Sir Helston has spoken so eloquently. We
Yes,
definitely want you to
amen. He
be
brought us back around.
empowered and inspired.
I like the way Big Bad Bull typed it out.
Which
What did he
one?
say?
Right? Where? Where?
He said www at
Oh,
egl.org.
I
Did
don't
my
see. I
Texan
see
accent come
it.
out then?
No, well, it's always there. When did it ever go away?
Well, I be trying to talk right so it don't come up.
You're silly. And do you have a question for your husband, your nice chocolate oh, there it is. I see it. And or is there anything that you would like to share about any part of the story that you would just like to share or give a little bit of encourage or whatever?
I think that Sir Hale pretty much kind of, I mean, he told the story very, very
He,
accurately.
mhm.
Um,
Oh, good.
because if I go into my side of the story, honey, it will be on here.
Yeah, no, we don't want to do that.
We don't
No,
want to do that.
we
But what
good.
I will say is that one thing Sir Hale does, he empowers women. And I would say,
Mhm.
Sir Hale, if there was something that you would be able to
Mm.
encourage a woman who may be maybe mouthy a little bit, little mouthy or whatever, or who may be experiencing that um talking to her guy and things of that nature, what would you tell somebody who's struggling with that?
So
Good
just
question.
so I'm clear, what do you mean?
Or struggling with their mouth. How
Oh,
they
Talking
with
back
what
to
they
talk.
her
say?
guy,
Huh?
Oh, with what they say?
Yeah.
to their
Okay, yeah.
guy.
So you guys watch the movies where people like you guys watch movies with guns, right? You see
Mhm.
them, right? You see what bullets do when somebody's shot. That's how words are. So whenever
Wow.
you are about to say stuff, I want you to
Mm,
imagine: are your bullets serving food, or are they serving bullets? Are you feeding and nourishing, or are you killing? If you got to keep that image
right.
in your head,
That's
it'll help you
good.
get some context.
Crystal, read the comment.
She said, "Did he with a why the f me?" Oh, why? Oh, I get what I mean.
I
She
know
says,
he
"I
said,
know he can talk himself out of any situation, huh, Crystal?" Well,
Crystal.
he's a great communicator. But one thing he ain't no lying when he honest one. When he
That's what
say
she said.
when he say
Good.
that he is honest, sometimes his honesty it with my personality, I'm strong, I'm hard, whatever, but I'm still a glass. You know what I'm saying? Like, you gotta be careful
Right.
with how hard y'all are with me. But he's very honest, and that's one thing I really appreciate
Right.
out of Sir Hill is his honesty. So yeah.
Hmm. Me too. And it comes across very clear. And especially when I asked him the question, how did he come to you about his indiscretions? And I was very proud of him to hear that he was honest and direct, that you did not have to find out. I think that that is, even though it shouldn't be that way, it should be a norm that if a man and he goes and tell his wife, that's how it should be. But I do feel the need and want to point that out and applaud it, because so many men, wasn't me, you look, he got his pants down, wasn't me. So I applaud that, and I love the fact that he came to you, even like the first at a young age, especially at that age. They
Yeah.
a lie to the devil, trying to get out of it. So and I do. And I only wish I wish more men lived intentional, with that sense of purpose and direction. Even like with I think at one point, Sir Hale Speaks, you had said that you just had to get there. I think you said something like that. You didn't know, and you went to the library and you did all these things so intentional. You had a goal, you had a focus, and you was something you said, I just had to make it there, and I respect that. You had a sense of direction. And I wish more men, in their role of leading us, and yeah, I said it, leading us, and being that example of the family and the provider. It that one simple thing, living intentional and with purpose, it makes such a difference. It really does. And that goes to whether you want to get married or not. I'm
Right.
not telling you to go get married. Even if you're single, you should be living intentional with purpose. Don't be out here just a third leg sticking out, don't know where to go, and then gonna kick somebody and oops, baby. I don't.
Right.
It's just so I that's my thing. That is very disappointing. But yeah, we're all human. We all make our mistakes. But I think it's time for us to stop making that mistake. I think that's kind of old and worn out, and just very immature. So that's my little rant on that. Miss Crystal, is there? Oh, we got 84 in the house. Hello, 84. Did you miss the whole interview? You got to go back and watch the replay. It's fire. Oh, that's like Earth, Wind, and Fire. Fire.
Fire.
Dun, dun,
Dun,
dun. Mm, mm, mm,
mm,
mm.
mm.
Fire. Okay.
Fire.
All right. So thank you for coming in, 84, and showing your support. Appreciate that. Love, is there anything else, Miss Crystal, that
N-
you would like to say right now?
no, because y'all know me is past my bedtime and I'm
Bedtime?
about to be in the bed. But
And you took a nap
a
today.
beautiful interview. I'm gonna go back down
Thank
in the chat
you.
and I'll continue
Okay.
to watch from my bed. But great
Okay.
interview and
Thank
talk to you
you.
soon.
Look, I'm taking all the credit. Thank you.
Bye.
It's me. Okay, so I want to kind of wrap it up on this point. Well, not point. I want you to discuss your business side.
Okay.
And why I say that, I saved it for last on purpose. Um, because of the way you live. When we were talking about thumbnails, and when I look at your page, it's so it's like methodic. It's like a color scheme, but it's not, but it really is, you know. And everything, I see the intentionality there. I see the focus on details and putting it together. So I want to just give you the floor, and I want you to talk business to us. I want you to share what you want to share. But you know what I'm going through? I'm in the beginning stages of, your lovely wife sent me a book on branding. She's been helping me, you know, upgrade things and teach me some things about these youth too. I just want to give you the floor and talk to us, my fine black brother. Talk.
Okay, so a couple things. If you're starting off a business, you have to be completely obsessive with your brand, because the way that you project yourself out to the world is going to be how the world receives you. And if you don't take the time to develop the skill of paying attention to detail, then you may miss the opportunity to expand. So I don't have a degree in marketing. I don't have a degree in digital cinematography, but what I did is I spent literally 5, 6, 7 hours a day, didn't sleep at night, to learn how to put content out there that is quality, because I don't believe that you want to go to a page and just watch anything. So I spent all types of hours trying to get the thumbnails just right, trying to get the look just right, so that you know by looking at the page, I put time and effort into this. Because as a business owner, my goal is not to be here so you support me. My job as a business owner is to exist to support you and to serve you things that are beneficial to your life. So I am very serious about my brand. I'm very serious about marketing. I'm very serious about detail, because my goal is to give you the best. And although I'm a smaller YouTube creator at this time, I do believe that at some point I will generate enough income and I'll be a multimillionaire, and that I'll be able to do this full time to empower people. So I can't get there if I'm not excellent on the level that I'm on now. So I'm encouraging everybody on here who has a business, whether small or growing, to focus on giving your best at the level that you're on now. And don't let a day go by that you don't learn something else to contribute to a more excellent form, a more excellent platform that you have. Your customers feel valued when you take the time to give them your best. So I encourage everybody with business. Good is not good enough. Great is not great enough. You want to strive to be exceptional, and that takes time, discipline, and effort for you to get this. If you carry that mentality, there's nothing you will put your hand to that will not succeed. So again, I think Juss Kyia for this interview. She is perhaps one of the best interviewers that I've ever had the privilege of being interviewed by. Shout out to the platform. I'm wishing you much success, much empowerment in your life's journey. Thank you so much. Thanks for having me. Okay, I think you're on mute.
Oh, thank you. This is my first interview, and I appreciate it. Maybe you could say two more nice things.
Very nicely today. Paige is awesome.
Thank
We
you.
love Juss Kyia.
I love it. I wanted, some people didn't come at the beginning, and I wanted to share this. Red Lipstick Vibes. She is amazing. I enjoy her platform and her page and what she puts out there. And this very awesome sister, she does graphic videos. Her page is amazing, the stuff she does, and it's off the chain. It's really nice. Is how she developed, I know it's technical something, Tia, I don't know, it's in that field. But she just reached out to me and said, I made you a quick little video for your platform. Didn't charge me, and I know she expensive, and she put something together for me. This is nowhere close to the quality that she does. You know, when you pay a sister now, okay, you gotta go check her out and pay her if you want quality. But she did this for me. She did it free, and I want to totally thank her for one. Promoter. It's amazing content. It's amazing content on her channel. It's like you in a movie theater when she got these visuals going on her channel. So please, please go check her out. I only say that because she put this together for me free of charge. So
Excellent
this
job.
ain't the quality I'm talking about, but she did this for me. And I
It
know
was
she looked
dope.
it. Thank you. Yeah. Well, look, I'm
Mhm.
saying things like I did it, but and I could tell she does listen to my stuff because you'll see it in the video. So I just want to run that so you guys can see it, and we'll be right back. Yay! The, you off? Button button.
I got that track in my head.
I
I'm just
know, right? You didn't do the
uh.
applause button. Oh, you grooving too much.
That's awesome. I love that.
It is. That beat is nice. Yeah, I like that. I thank you. I thank you. Her name is Red Lipstick Vibes. She does amazing graphic work over there on her on her channel. You can find out all her information. I'm gonna figure out how, and I don't know. I'm telling you, God has been good because He sent me Crystal. She helped me with my thumbnails, and I got Sir Hale. He helping me, and sis ain't got no money, so God is good, okay? And He sent me Red Lipstick Vibes, so God is good. We're gonna build this platform together. I'm so glad you guys are here with me. Okay, Sir Hale, how you doing?
Fantastic.
Good. How do you feel about the interview and how it went? Do you feel anxious or anything about anything you said? And is there anything else that you would like to share at this point that I didn't cover that you would like to add a little bit more content to or context to?
I just got two things. First of all, thank you so much. You've conducted an interview that is second to none. So thank you so much for caring enough to ask the questions that you did. This was both therapeutic, as well as I hope helpful for those who listened.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that I would encourage everybody is I hope that I inspired you, but I hope that more than this, you took something that I said and that you would be more conscientious of the people around you, even with yourself, to take what you've been through, take your situations and issues, and don't hide them away, but to deal with them. Because the best you is the you that deals with the trauma that tried to stop you. So I'm hoping that you take this inspiration and that you would become a better you by processing the things that you've suffered with, not internalizing it, but using it to be a blessing to others. So with that, thank you so much again. Salute to the chat. Thank you guys for the words of encouragement. It really means a lot to me as I embark into this new journey of motivational speaking, hearing the comments that you sent really do hit me. It's not for ego. It really does touch my heart because this is a new journey for me. I've never shared as much as as I have tonight. And so thank you guys for allowing me to be vulnerable without condemning or judging me. I really appreciate. Love you all. Thank you so much. And to again, Juss Kyia, you are the best.
Thank you so much. Okay, so I learned this from you, Sir Hale. Actually, I can't believe I'm going to end this live. There's nothing else that needs to be said. Sir Hale is dropping the mic, and I'm gonna have you move down. I don't want you to leave yet, please.
Sure.
So yeah, I'm gonna move you down, and then I'm gonna close the show, and then we'll be better together, right? That's how you do it. Okay, I don't want to.
Yes.
I don't want to kick you off. Cause look, I'm trying to
Sure.
whisper. Don't tell them I don't know for sure. But okay, I'm gonna drop you down. Then I'm gonna say my goodbyes. All right, Lord, y'all oughta be up in here. I should be rich right now. All that valuable information y'all got. Was that not a word? Have you ever seen a man pour out so eloquently his life, doing it so selfishly to help others, not keeping it all this valuable information, this wisdom that he has? He is sharing it. You would totally be depriving yourself. You will be lacking if you do not go over there and get his book. I forgot the name. He gonna kill me. But it's all good. Look in the chat. Crystal, put the name of the book up. But if you do not go over there and get that book, but even so, go over to his channel, show your support, and listen to his content. It's amazing. It's not just one thing, it is multiple things. It is relationship. And you know what is so great? I said it at the beginning, but I'm sure a lot of you guys wasn't here. And if you was, thank you, and that's great. But it's not a churchy thing, because I know we talk about faith and we talk about our religion and things like that. It's not a churchy thing, but the undertone is a level of standard. It is, and it has structure. So you know it's a faith base, but it's not churchy. It's nothing like that. Not that that's a bad or a good thing, but I'm just saying you got to go check it out for yourself. That's really what I'm saying. So please, let's support each other. Let's encourage each other. And we don't need to be out here fighting, doing all this crazy stuff. I don't know what's going on. I'm new, I'm naive, and I'm loving. I'm gonna live here in my nice little naive world, sending out love to you guys, encouraging you guys, inspiring you guys, hopefully challenging you as well. And you know what time it is. It's me. I'm losing my damn voice. It's me, Juss Kyia. Jusskya. Jesus unveils scripture simply. I should have made talk come up here. Okay, last part. I'm so glad we had this time together. I got to work on the ending. Okay, I'll figure something out. Bye. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. I know you can spend your time anywhere. Time is very valuable. I appreciate you for choosing to spend this time with me. May you go on and be as happy as I am. I'm joking. Okay, guys, bye. I'm being silly. Thank you. Appreciate you. Do I end the broadcast? I don't want to lose you. Do I end it? Okay. Okay. Bye. Love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow night. Okay. Thank you. Go over to Sir Hale Speaks channel. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you hit the notification button so you can be reminded when he goes live. And please, let's support each other. Even so, you won't be disappointed over there. I promise.